Wait, hold your horses. The
Yeah.
event is starting. All right, we are live. We're gonna play some Fight Night Champion, but before I do that, I gotta introduce myself.
I mean,
Hold on. New York King right here, right? Hold on 1 second.
reading the tweets, figured I bet.
Okay, let me stop this preview first off. I'm sorry, this is a weird way to start off the stream. But what is good, boxing fans and gamers? It's your boy, Fight Night's Finest, the Sophie commentator, here with a dual live stream with the boy, Arachnid. So you guys know him, you guys heard of him, you guys hear me talking about him all the time. We do videos together, we do everything together. No homo on that. No, we don't do everything together. But go ahead, Arachnid, introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, I don't like that whole phrase "no homo." I was thinking about that today, and there was this girl, and I don't love her in that sense, but she's got such a great personality. And I was just casually saying, "Man, I love this girl," and I stopped and said, "No hetero." But anyway,
What? Hold on. Before we even get into the whole point of this live stream, even though it's just a normal Tuesday live stream, there's a little special addition to it. We're gonna review the Pacquiao and Bradley fight, Pacquiao versus Bradley 2. But before we even get into that, what the heck is what was that saying you just said?
well, the when they say no homo, they're talking about homosexuals, I guess, attracted to each other. So I said no hetero, meaning yes, I'm a heterosexual, but I'm not saying I love her in that way. I'm just saying that I love what she just did.
No
But
hetero.
I will say this though. I think the no homo thing, that's got to be offensive, right?
I honestly can't see how that would be offensive.
I think so. I think if I'm gay, I would be offended by that. But anyway, let me get my plug in because I know you like to wait until hour 9 to give me the plug, and by then the people are asleep.
Yeah, maybe I should just add your thing to the screen or something. This way, you can stop complaining for once. I mean, this man is always complaining, man.
All right. One thing I'm not complaining about is the job my boy Pacquiao did against your boy Bradley over the weekend.
So yeah, Bradley let me down, man. Bradley is gonna be the reason why I have to go ahead and buy Arachnid Need for Speed Undercover on Steam this week. So
Well,
thanks,
yeah, I mean,
Bradley. You did
we
it.
we had a little bet going. The wager was if Bradley won as Fight Night's Finest predicted, I would pay for half of Fight Night's Finest. His ticket to go see Ring of Honor versus New Japan Pro Wrestling May 17th in New York City. And if I won, which was obvious, because I mean it's me. If I would have bet on Bradley, Bradley would have won. That's all I'm saying. But if I won, then he had Fight Night's Finest had to buy me that game. But okay, so let's get into this. First of all, guys, go over to my channel because I did a video today, and I don't know if the people are feeling it. I don't know if the people are going to be behind it. It's a little something different. Go over, check it out. It's a game called Sanctum 2. I did some co-op live play or whatever with my friend, and the game's damn good. And Fight Night's Finest has that game, so maybe he's going to join me in the future on there.
Yeah, I'd definitely be looking to do that soon. I thought to myself, why not play with Pacquiao? I mean, it would just make sense too.
It just meant, well, I mean, why not? He's still fresh. It's not like he got hit or anything over the weekend.
Right?
I mean okay.
I'm going with him.
So let me talk to you about this. All right, it's Pacquiao, it's Bradley, and I see Pacquiao backstage. I have to be honest with you. I know he's a calm guy, but he looked even more calm before the fight than usual. He just looked laid back, like he was there puffing on some of that sticky icky. And he comes out to the ring, casual, gets in the ring, and I'm like, okay, this might, even though I keep saying he still got it, this might be it. This might be the swan song for your boy Manny Pacquiao. He might go back to being president or governor or prime minister or whatever he was. And then Bradley comes out. Bradley's fired up. Bradley's intense. He's got the eye of the tiger. He's coming out to better beats. The crowd's booing him. It felt like when that guy comes to the ring in Rocky number 12. You guys haven't seen it yet, but I got the advanced preview. Anyway, these two guys get in the ring, and round number 1 is one of the most amazing boxing rounds you'll ever see. These guys went balls to the wall. They went all out, pummeling each other. The defense was there, but it was almost all offense. It was one of those fights where you thought nobody's going to get knocked out, but if they do, they're going to get knocked out in this first round.
All right,
I'm
all
like,
right, all right. Hold on before
okay,
you do that.
I'm sorry.
I gotta say what's up to my boy Red Eye Jedi in the comments section. Anybody else watching the stream, don't be afraid to leave comments. YouTube.com/xredxixjedi in the description if you don't feel like typing all that out. What's up, though, Red Eye? We're gonna move back into the review. Go ahead, Arachne. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So round one's over. They're going to the corners. I'm like, you know what? My boy Pacquiao looks good, but I'm not taking anything away from Fight Night's Finest. He might still get half off that ticket. They go into round two. Now, in round two, I noticed that Bradley, like, it's almost like he started, like, trying to rope-a-dope Pacquiao. Like, he felt like all of a sudden Pacquiao, who, in my opinion, even at 35, has some of the best cardio, especially people talk pound for pound. Let's talk about cardio to work rate ratio. Pacquiao's probably got that better than anybody in boxing. He does not gas out. The man's got lungs like Louis Armstrong.
Oh
all right. Now it's not gonna work, Bradley, but okay, I'm thinking he's gonna try this for 1 or 2 rounds, maybe the whole rope-a-dope thing. And when he sees Pacquiao still coming at him, he's going to switch up his strategy. I'll let you come in like round number 8, Fight Night.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So anyway, we don't even need to go round by round because the same thing keeps happening. And then I see Bradley's kind of taunting him. He's smiling at him. He's doing all the little. I mean, the only thing he didn't do was rip his glove off and start waving his hand in the air and listen to the crowd like old school Hollywood Hogan. I'm like, dude, you are in a title match here. Your belt's on the line, bro. And he's not getting in the game. So this keeps...
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Before you go on, I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, but these people just keep being so kind by leaving comments. What's up, Reese? Welcome to the stream, man. I'm glad you was able to catch it this time around. You know, every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 o'clock. We don't always stream Fight Night, but when we do, it's always epic. Continue on with the review of the Pacquiao versus Bradley 2, which is what we're talking about now.
Oh my God! So I don't know what Bradley was doing, but I will say this, and if you guys are so kind, please follow me on Twitter at Arachnid Soul. I was live streaming this, and I'm sure for anyone not watching the fight who was aware that I placed a bet on Pacquiao, they probably thought I was just calling it one-sided. They couldn't imagine how the fight could be this one-sided. Before we continue Fight Night, I got to ask you something. You put your money on Bradley. Do you feel, because I don't, do you feel that Bradley won the first fight?
Hell no, he won the first fight.
Okay.
The excuse that he made about how his leg was messed up, I thought Pacquiao started taking it easier into the later rounds, but that's because anybody who, watches boxing can clearly tell you, Pacquiao was easily winning that fight. Now, the thing about Pacquiao versus Bradley 1 was the whole injury excuse about how Bradley's foot got messed up. He couldn't plant right. He was in the corner complaining about it. When the honest truth was, Bradley just couldn't hang with Pacquiao at the time. Pacquiao was the better fighter, still is the better fighter, obviously. But at least in Pacquiao 1 versus, Bradley, at least Bradley looked technically sound. Like his defense wasn't the greatest, but at least he wasn't throwing like these amateur style jabs and these amateur style right hands. Like Bradley, even the way he was backing up in the ring was like, he's afraid of this man. And with all due respect, to Pacquiao, Pacquiao being one of, he hits really hard. Besides all the steroid allegations that was against him and everything else. He hits hard, but I seen Bradley in there with Ruslan Pavaklikar, and he was just able to, stand in the pocket with him and trade and show the heart of the champion, which is why most people started to respect him again. And then all of a sudden, you start backing up most of the time. If you're not backing up, you're running scared. It was just a pathetic display by Bradley throughout the entire night. It looked like really like a grown man fighting with a little boy. That's exactly what it looked like.
Well, let me tell you. Oh, by the way, we got the dude Afro877 once again in the comment section. What's going up, bro?
What's good, homie? I'm glad that you just decided to stop by the stream again. I really enjoyed you leaving comments last time. I'm sorry about the whole mess up that happened last stream, guys. Don't really know what happened. And yeah, Reese, I know you're from the UK, man. I haven't It's really late over there, isn't it?
Yeah, I think well, if he's in the UK, that means he's 5 hours behind you and 8 hours behind me. But let's talk about the pre-fight interviews. Bradley and Pacquiao. Bradley, always talking about being from those mean, harsh, devastating, cruel, brutal, abusive streets
Oh my God.
of Hollywood, California, a place I used to live. I don't know. I don't remember, people getting their Emmy Awards jacked, and I don't know. Anyway, and then you talk about Manny Pacquiao. By the way, Manny Pacquiao, while he's got that great cardio, to look at him because he's got that Caesar haircut, he always looks like he just boxed about 18 rounds.
That's messed up, man. How you just gonna talk about the man's haircut like that? And once again, somebody decides that they can't come in with no proper internet connection in the middle of this match. But I don't know why you gotta talk about the man.
Oh, I think that guy's probably got Bradley's cornerman working his internet.
Who knows? Just like, let's talk about the form of those punches. And if you guys saw Pacquiao Bradley too, leave in the comment sections your thoughts about the fight. But let's talk about the form between the difference in these two, where it was like how Bradley was throwing his punches versus how Pacquiao was throwing his. Now, I've seen many Timothy Bradley fights, and he's one of the most technically sound boxers that I've seen in quite some time. But this fight, you ever seen one of those guys who just come straight into a boxing gym and the only reason
Yeah.
it is because they want to try things out, and then you see the difference between the guy they throw him in the ring with and, the fact that he has no experience with punching. Dude literally had absolutely no form with any hook, jab, or any punch that he threw in the entire fight.
Well, the thing is, Bradley is also an amazing counterpuncher, and I felt like that's one of the things he was looking for. I'm just trying to figure out what his strategy is. I thought it was the rope-a-dope, and then I said, okay, he's standing there because he's looking for Pacquiao to throw that shot, and if you catch Pacquiao right in the gut, Pacquiao goes down. So I'm thinking he's looking for that counterpunch, but then I notice even when there's an opening, he's not doing anything.
Yeah, for the most part, he wasn't even throwing punches. He would throw like this weird-looking jab, and he would throw like this slap of an overhand right. It wasn't even really a punch. What up, Killum the Pro? Glad to see you here, man. Glad, 126. Damn.
What's going on, the Pro?
You can make, man.
And then Bradley kept. I don't know. Maybe I've missed something, but do you score points in boxing for ducking your head under the top rope?
No, you don't score points for that.
I'm sitting there. By the way, I have to do this. See, this is why I can make fun of Pacquiao. I'm actually close friends with Pacquiao. Pacquiao is actually over here right now. We're gonna bring Let me give Pacquiao this headset for a second, and maybe you can talk to him a little bit about the fight. Here you go, Pac-Man. Go ahead.
Oh my God, is he serious right now? This is that stuff that Arachne usually does, man. He brings in some weird thing that I was not prepared for. This ain't the real Manny Pacquiao, y'all. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. If it is, and then I truly apologize. But for the most part, I don't believe this is the real Pacquiao. Anyway, Arachne, get your behind back on the headset.
No, you don't understand. This is real Manny Pacquiao.
Oh my God, that's not even a good impression of him, though.
No, this no impression. I like to thank the Lord Jesus Christ for bringing me to the fire. I knock out Timothy Bradley. This is real Manny.
But you didn't knock him out.
No, I do knock him out. They know show the rest of the pay-per-view.
See, and it sounded exactly. Anyway, come on, you're ruining the stream, man. Nobody doesn't want to hear this.
Oh my God!
What's up, homie?
I got it back. I'm sorry, man. Go sit down. Don't make me knock you out. Like I do all the time in sparring.
I'm trying to say what's up to people. Like, people just gonna look at you like you was retarded, man. Like, really?
Oh my. You're gonna have all the people on your side. You open up with no homo. Now you say retarded.
Oh my God.
All of the people are gonna be mad at you tonight. And you've already lost California because you're bagging on Bradley.
What am I running for president all of a sudden?
I don't know, man. But so anyway, let's go to round 8. I know you were excited to watch this fight. It's round 8.
Oh no, I gotta cut you off again,
All right.
man. What's good? I'm Legend. I see you coming back to the stream, dog. Glad that you decided to join in. God,
Yeah.
man, this is the most people I had in a long time.
I gotta hit that Well, they're coming in to hear what we think about that Pacquiao fight.
Nah, man, they coming in to hear what Pacquiao thought about the Pacquiao
Yeah.
fight.
All right. Well, Pacquiao's gonna be back a little bit later, but
He ain't gonna be back, dog. Not on my stream.
I gotta hit refresh for a second, and but yeah, okay. So it's round 8. You're excited. This is my favorite weight division in boxing and MMA, probably in wrestling as well. And
The welterweight division?
yeah, love it. I mean, it not just that division, but really anyone under, not just at the 160 or 140, but anyone under 200 pounds. I like the work rate. We don't need to talk about a guy like George Foreman like we did last week. I appreciate a bigger guy who can knock a guy out with one punch, but I want to see those punches and bunches, those rapid fire combinations. And also when we talk MMA or wrestling, I like the fast transitions and guys that don't need to take breaks to catch air. And anyway, round 8, you tune in. What are your immediate thoughts watching the first 30 seconds in round 8?
The first thoughts that I had was pretty much like, what the hell is Bradley doing? That's the first thing that really came into my head. Because I see him like this, if y'all looking on the screen now. He's backpedaling, he's scared, he's throwing off this weird jab, and then like a slapping overhand right for pretty much the entire fight. And I'm like, his punches legitimately had no form on it. It's like there was no snap in it. And in all honesty, I think he was just scared of Pacquiao. I think that's the real thing, was that he did not want to take any more punishment. I didn't get to see the other rounds because I came in kind of late. But, yeah, with the best Manny impression ever. Come on, y'all. That was good. Hold on.
Thank you.
Oh, it was a very competitive. It wasn't a competitive fight, killing man.
He was watching. He was watching a different fight.
Yeah, you had to be watching a different fight. This fight is worth going back and watching because I missed it and I'm thinking about watching it. I mean, if you want to see somebody get beat up, yeah, it's a good fight to go back and watch. If you want to see a boxer versus an amateur, then yeah, this is the fight to watch. But it wasn't competitive.
Okay, every other fight on the card was a better fight. The opening fight to me stole the show.
Wasn't that the Jesse Vargas fight?
Yeah.
God, like the laser jab that Jesse Vargas was throwing out, man, and the cut that happened to, I can't say his name because he's Russian, but the cut and the fact that he still fought and the fact that he fought in flurries made the fight competitive all the way. I was thinking at one point, Vargas would probably throw up turn up in terms of the combinations that he was throwing, but the fact that he just kept doing what he did was that laser jab, screwing up the cut over the right eye, and the fact that his defense and his head movement was really superb. I was like, this is one of the greatest fights I've seen in a long time.
Oh, it was amazing. And also the fact, to me, his cornerman had a better performance that night, and his cut man, who they jammed about 3 tons of Vaseline into that eyelid.
Whatever it took to stop it, man.
They had a better performance that night than Bradley did.
And his corner was like Bradley. Let's talk about Bradley's corner for a second, because Bradley corner be lying to him.
Yeah,
you winning around, man. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm like,
listen, Bradley's got that fight night champion corner,
right? Just keep using the double jab. You'll be good.
I didn't see anybody's lips moving in Bradley's corner, though. To be honest with you, I think they just have a tape recorder from the game and they just hit a button once in a while.
And you can always see how discouraged Bradley looks. If anything, Bradley needs to change his cornerman. He needs to change his trainer, because if the fact that your cornerman is telling you you're winning rounds that you're losing, that's not a good look, man. And it's the main reason why he wasn't going out there and adjusting.
Well, I mean, his cornermen are so good at convincing him that he's winning a fight when he's losing that I think he honestly believes that he won the first fight with Manny Pacquiao.
And the fact was, if anybody watched the first interview, anybody will go back and they will tell you, like, hey, look, I have to go back and watch the tape in order to tell you if I really felt I won the fight or not. And the fact is, if you're a fighter and you're in the ring, and I've seen this with many of guys before, like, yo, if I'm in the ring, I'm gonna say this to you: I won the fight. Look at Rosario. when he fought Peter Quinley. He said, you know, I know.
Okay, I'll take it over.
He said, I know I won that fight, man. I know I won that fight. The people at home, the people in the stands know that I won the fight, and people started cheering for him. You know why? Because he knew he won the fight. Even Austin Trout, the disbelief in his face after he fought Canelo. He wanted to say he won the fight, but, you know, respectfully, he said, you know, I lost the fight. Even though most people say, oh, Canelo lost that fight. But Canelo won that fight. But I saw Austin Trout being busier, and I like a guy who's busier. And let's face it, Canelo head movement ain't all this cut out people called it out to be, because it really isn't.
Well, you know, 1 in 3 judges think Canelo has great enough head movement to give him that vote. We remember that robbery. We remember when it was Canelo a couple of months ago, and that judge actually had to retire after that.
You're talking about against Floyd?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what fight he was judging.
I'm telling you, he must have been watching an old fight on his iPad at ringside.
They be predetermined on the judges' scorecards.
Oh.
What's your song?
I just don't think we should expose boxing to the people. But let me ask you about something else, because I saw Bradley, like you said, after that first Pacquiao fight, and he was being asked, hey, do you really think you won the fight? And he said, yes, but I'm going to go back and watch the footage. He went back, he watched the footage. Then I'm watching Face to Face on HBO, a job that personally I think I could do a lot better than that a-hole. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, the guy says to Bradley, did you watch the footage? And what did you think? Bradley says, yes, I watched the footage, and I think I won.
Like, I mean, you can't ever doubt yourself as a fighter, but let me get to some of these comments right here, man. Yeah, I think the fight did live up to the hype in the sense that everybody knew pretty much Pacquiao was gonna win the fight. I wanted to give Bradley the benefit of the doubt. I really thought that he could possibly win, and you know, I didn't think the scorecards would be how it's looking right now on the screen, where this guy, I'm just basically outworking him and trying to land every shot that I possibly can. Let's talk about this guy for a second, as a matter of fact. Like, what is he doing? Like, I've been sitting here fighting the whole time, and I'm like, so you're not going to throw any headshots?
I don't know. Some of the strategies I see really make no sense to me. We can also talk about the fact that in that Bradley Pacquiao fight, okay, you get to a point in the fight where you realize you've lost almost every round. And the first couple of rounds were pretty competitive, as someone said in the chat room, especially that first round. But you realize there's only so many rounds. You've lost most of the rounds. You're not a knockout artist, but the knockout's the only thing. You're not going to, you know, win these few remaining rounds against Pacquiao 10-3 or something ridiculous. You've got to knock him out. Not that you can knock him out, because Bradley can't really knock people out, but why are you running when you're down?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's the advice the cornerman was giving. It was like, you know, don't worry about that. You won that round, baby. And I'm like, no, he didn't win that round. Like, why are you lying to him? And then I will say, and I think it was round number 11, Bradley realized, like, hey, you know, I got to do this. And he went after Pacquiao for a bit until he got hit with a straight left hand and then decided, okay, you know, this isn't going to work. And he backed up again. So, you know, nobody can question Bradley's heart. I mean, you can most people just run away with that fight and be like, yeah, you know, I beat Pacquiao. It's in the books, whatever. But at least he came back to fight him again for a second time.
Oh, my God. At least he came back. They made him come back.
Yeah, and let's talk about the purse, man. The thing, Bradley only made $6 million from that fight while Pacquiao made 20. Like, I know Pacquiao has the bigger name, but I think they could have gave a better split than that. Like, I would have gave Bradley $9 million and Pacquiao 20, if anything.
Well, I mean, what I had heard was that the loser was going to get $6 million no matter what, and the winner was probably going to get $20 million. So it really did depend on who won that fight.
Okay, hold on. We got some comments in here that I would like to get to. Hakeem Mozai, I'm sorry if I get your name wrong. He says, how come Manny doesn't really knock anybody down / out anymore? Well, the fight before this, Rios has an excellent chin. Rios can take a lot of punishment, and Rios is the Mexican style fighters, man. They used to taking punishment. Against Bradley, I didn't see really Manny dishing out a lot of punishment as much as he was just enjoying himself watching Bradley just miss. And the fact Bradley was just either swinging wild or running backwards would explain why he didn't get any knockdowns. And also the fact that Bradley does have an excellent chin will explain why he didn't get any knockdowns. He did, in the fight before that against Marquez, he did actually knock Marquez down, I believe, once or twice. And the thing about Marquez is that, let's be all honest, in that fight, if Pacquiao didn't really walk into that the straight right hand at the end of the round, he was going to win that fight. Because there was no way Marquez was going to be able to hang with him much longer. Another comment, he should have won the first fight. Yeah, Pacquiao definitely should have won the first fight. Who do I think next is for Pacquiao? I would like to see him fight Mayweather, even though it's not going to happen. Like, that's what everybody wants to see. Some people want to see him go fight Marquez again. For me, I don't want to see a Pacquiao-Marquez 5. I've seen, like, every Pacquiao-Marquez fight that's there. I don't want to see any more of those. The thing is that he only really fights top-ranked fighters, so I can't really see him fighting many other people right now. Besides, I really want to see him fight either maybe Provocaca, or he can fight. I want to see him fight Mayweather. That's the ultimate thing anybody wants to say.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants to see. I mean, when that fight was going on and Pacquiao won, I think I sent you the comment on Twitter that Mayweather just turned the TV off.
Yeah, you did. Hi, Gary. What's up, man? I'm glad you was able to catch it. He doesn't have the same power, and I'm not even judging that off of one fight. Pussy stroker. Like I said, he was in there with guys with good chin, and he's not a knockout artist anymore. If you notice, most of the time he'll land some nice combinations, and then he'll step out, and he'll move around the ring, and then he'll come back in and do the same thing. He's looking to punish people. He's looking to show, like, definitely that he's winning these rounds. It's so obvious when Pacquiao fights that he's winning these rounds, and it's so obvious this straight right hand this guy took. Somebody please teach this man some defense. As he goes down for the first time tonight, it only took about 9 to 8 rounds.
Okay, so in the
fights, okay, Arachne, I'm sorry to keep cutting you off, dog, but they're asking so many questions, and I want you to answer them. Who's your favorite boxer of all time? His favorite boxer is Rock, which is Rocky Marciano.
Yeah, Marciano.
Yeah, because some people will say Rocky and they be talking about Balboa, and it's like he wasn't a real boxer, right?
Yeah.
But, who's your favorite boxer of all time, Arachne?
Well, I mean, you know who my favorite. Listen, I'm the way with boxing that I am when I watch soccer or football. I like what I like. I don't know what to tell you. But you know who my favorite boxer is. I've lived all over the country. I've lived in New York. I've lived in the Midwest. I've lived out west in California and Vegas. And I pretty much grew up in California and Vegas. And when you grow up in California and Vegas, when I was growing up in California and Vegas, your favorite boxer has to be the Golden Boy. It's got to be De La Hoya.
I mean, he didn't win a lot of his big fights, which is one of the saddest things.
Listen, when De La Hoya was fighting with his wife and his girlfriend, beating him up in the hotel rooms, he was very successful. When De La Hoya wanted to put on lingerie and take Polaroids, he was very successful. Do not count out the woman-beating, dress-wearing Golden Boy that is Oscar De La Hoya.
Okay. As for me, my favorite boxer of all time is James Toney, without a doubt. I like counterpunchers, and the fact that the way James Toney did it was very old school. He had the shoulder roll defense. He would lean against the ropes, and he'll let people take the fight to him, and they couldn't do anything about it. He was a cocky kind of fighter, and he was able to back up a lot of the stuff that he said. Now, the thing that I really liked about his style was the fact that not only did he do things from a kind of technical counterpuncher, old school style, was like he can do it on the inside or the outside, and no matter how big you were or how small you were, he was there the whole night. Second to that, I would probably say Ricardo Lopez, very technically sound boxer. He did it textbook style, man. There's nothing more you can see from him. He was a guy who threw combinations. He retired undefeated. If nobody doesn't know about Ricardo Lopez, man, go watch this fight against Alex Sanchez, man. Perfect example of how to box and how to deal with a fighter who supposedly is more hyped up than you are. I'm going to agree with most / everyone on Pacquiao Marquez 5. I actually do want to see it. Marquez has always given Pacquiao problems. In fact, he lost to Marquez more than once. I really don't want to see another Pacquiao Marquez. Man. It's been too many fights. Like, the greatest rivalries, the greatest fights of all time is usually like 3 fights most of the time. Sugar Ray is... Do you mean Sugar Ray Leonard or Sugar Ray Robinson, legend? Or build a bridge so they can fight each other. He should fight Mayweather or he should just retire. I mean, I don't see him...
No, why should he retire?
I don't see Pacquiao retiring just yet. He obviously has a lot more fight left in him. I see, like, maybe in the next 2 years he should retire. But he has to go out on a huge bang. He has to fight Mayweather before he retires. Like, his legacy cannot be sustained as one of the greatest of all time. Like, he already has a place in the Hall of Fame. But they're always going to say, what if he fought Mayweather? That's the main thing that needs to come up. What if he fought Mayweather?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, well, is age really that important? Because people always say, oh, he's old. They say it in all sorts of combat sports. If you can go out there and throw those punches with that work rate for 12 rounds like we saw him do over the weekend, don't then come find me on a Monday afternoon and tell me that he doesn't have it or that he's old or he's slow or that he should retire, because he obviously still has it. He shouldn't retire.
Yeah, I don't think he should retire either. But for the most part, I think the thing people have to see is that the only fight that can literally, cement his place in history so that people don't forget about him like 10 or 20 years from now, because there's a lot of great fighters that people know about during their era, but when it comes into late into history, nobody remembers them, and that's because they haven't fought all the big fights. Now, Pacquiao has many big fights that he's taken, but he's not going to be remembered as the greatest of all time or, close to being one of those guys if he doesn't fight Mayweather. Okay, Leonard, how long are you live streaming for? Normally I live stream to 10:30, 10 o'clock on Eastern Standard Time. Do you dislike how many people can spam the jab and straight and it messes up your accuracy? Yes, I hate that. The guy last fight, the Pacquiao I was just fighting right now was doing that. Hakeem. Okay.
All right, let me. I gotta take. Well, you tagged out to me, and I'm tagging back out, and I'm hopping off the ring apron, giving you the short arm because I gotta take about 2 minutes. I will be right back. I've got to go talk to Maniel. He's hearing some of these comments in the chat room. He's getting a little upset, and I don't know what language he's starting to speak. Italian, Martian, Greek. I can't quite identify it, but I will be back in 2 minutes. So you hold the chat and you sustain this live stream. Arachnid Soul will be back in 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
This girl right here, y'all. But my subscribers, my fan base, what's good, man? What's good? I'm seeing a lot of people leaving a bunch of diverse comments as to what it is that each person is thinking, but I want to fight with my favorite fighter. My favorite fighter on Fight Night Champion, which is Roberto Duran. I love fighting with Duran, especially welterweight Duran. That's what the next fight is going to be before me and Arachnid hop on some Tomb Raider. But how long? Let's see.
All right, man. Yeah, I'm back. It didn't take that long. He's always calm. Anyway, yeah. So we'll be hopping on some Tomb Raider in a minute. Hopefully, if any of you people in the chat room have that Tomb Raider game, you'll try to come in and take me and Fight Night on 2 versus 2.
Oh, that'll be epic. I mean, besides the fact that I do all the work most of the time.
Well, I mean, that's because I'm a strategic player. I like to feel things out, whereas you just like to run into the middle of the field and just camp. We know how you do it. I mean, that's why
less than $70 million for the Mayweather. Hold on.
Exactly.
Let me talk to you for a second, homie. The fact of the matter of why he won't fight Mayweather is the fact that there's either not enough money for Mayweather or they want a 60-40 split. And Mayweather wants either 80-20 or 7-30 split. And the thing is that they're not going to do that. Like, that's the biggest fight that will happen this generation is if Pacquiao fights Mayweather. But they're not going to do it for less than 70 mil. He's not going to do it for that much. Mayweather has to be the guy to get all the money, and Pacquiao's not going to be with that. The problem is the financial problem. Even though, you know, Bob Arum has come out many times and say Pacquiao will fight him for nothing if it took it. We don't know exactly why. What's wrong with this guy? But we don't know exactly why Mayweather won't fight him, besides the fact that, you know, he could be scared of Pacquiao, which I think in all right he should be, because Pacquiao, you know, he has the hand speed, and he also has the southpaw advantage that Mayweather seems to struggle with southpaws like Zab Judah, even though he didn't really struggle with Robert the Ghost Guerrero. But Pacquiao, one, he hits hard, he's fast, and he has good defense. That's everything that Mayweather has minus the power. So it's like, is that something he really wants to have to deal with at the end of the day?
I mean, I got to be honest with you. There's a difference between being cocky and being confident. And I look at Mayweather, and he's cocky. You know, on the other hand, Pacquiao, and not to take anything away from him, he's cool and confident. And to me, that's superior.
I mean, in terms of the mindset, I will say when it comes down to fight time, I would think Mayweather would have the advantage, because Mayweather doesn't have any experience losing, and he doesn't think he will ever lose, and that's a good thing. But also, you know, Pacquiao being a cool, calm, collective guy, you gotta imagine how he would go into a fight against basically the best that there is right now. He's number one pound for pound without question. And then comes Andre Ward, and then, you know, you can start talking about Manny and them coming afterwards. But that's the stuff that you got to think about, man.
Well, listen, if you're Floyd Mayweather and you want to keep that record of never being beaten in the public eye, in my opinion, you stay out of the ring with Manny Pacquiao, and you also stay out of the ring with my boy from MMA in the same weight class, mind you, Toby Conjudon, Shinya Aoki, but we're not talking MMA today.
I was about to say, what the hell are you talking about? We up here having a boxing discussion. Everybody in here leaving these conversations is like, you know, they're all talking about boxing, and you can't just bring them some MMA.
No, you know why? You know why I bring it up? Because we've been talking a lot to our boy. We'll give him a plug, Sakuraba, 1982, and he's all excited about that new EA UFC game that's coming out. And it brings up the question a little bit as we play some Fight Night here. Will next year be the year that we finally get a new Fight Night? And will they alternate year to year between UFC and Fight Night Champion?
Yeah, that will be a good discussion to bring up right after we answer these comments. Who is my favorite British boxer? My favorite British boxer is Jamie Moore. Is a guy that perfected chaos. Actually showed me. I like his documentary, and I like the way that he went into each fight, and I like the heart and determination that kid brings, and also the, you know, knowing when to get out before it ruined his health. So I really do like Jamie Moore. Do you think Adrian Broner can become a really good fighter? Adrian Broner is a good fighter right now. The fact of the matter is that he's not confident once he starts losing. We've seen what happened once he starts losing against Marcos Maidana, where, you know, he started getting frustrated. His cornerman was giving him good advice, but he started turning down that advice, and, you know, he didn't fight how a fighter should. You know, you can be confident and you can be arrogant, but you also got to know when's the right time to be humble. And the reason why he lost against Marcos Maidana was the fact that he wasn't throwing no combinations. Where he should have threw combos, like a basic either 1-2, or he could have hit him with a 3-punch combination. Or as in, you know, Mike Tyson and his trainer used to go ahead and name each punch by number. He should have threw a 1-3-7-5. Something like that, and that would have kept Maidana off of him. Mm-hmm. So that's the main reason why Broner lost that fight against Maidana, because it wasn't the fact that he wasn't better than Maidana. It was the fact that he wasn't busy enough, and he didn't have the stamina, especially going into the later rounds, to deal with Maidana and to keep him off of him. So that's why he ended up losing that fight. We got another comment here. At first, I love Mayweather, but I think he turned into a show-off, and he will lose to Maidana because of the showbiz. He is thinking more of his figure rather than the task ahead. I definitely don't believe that at all. Mayweather he trains on the regular. He's like Bernard Hopkins. Those guys train every day, regardless of if there's a fight or if there isn't a fight. So whether, you know, he's more concerned about the Team and T business that he has going on for his fashion, or whether he's concerned about things that's going on outside the ring, the guy's always working, and he always has that determination to be the best. So whether you like Mayweather or not, nobody can question the man's dedication. Let's see, we got another comment here. Who, LOL? Don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen a wannabe become successful in life. Who's your favorite heavyweight boxer? Favorite heavyweight boxer? Arachne, you take that question, man. Now, the people want to hear from you too.
All right, well, my favorite heavyweight boxer, and like I said earlier, I'm not really a heavyweight guy. I'll get to that in a second. I heard you talking about 1375. Were you talking about your team layouts on the pitch when you play FIFA? Because
No.
that's too many players.
See, Mike Tyson's trainer actually
okay.
used to name each punch. Like, he'll have the jab as 1, he'll have a hook as 3. I can't remember what the uppercut was or the overhand, right? But basically, Tyson's trainer taught him each punch by number. So if you go back and you look at clips of him and his old trainer before he got involved with Don King, you will see how he would say, I want to see a 175 in this round. I want to see a 175. And then you'll see Tyson go out in the next round and hit him with that 175.
Yeah, but okay, so my favorite heavyweight boxer of all time, he's a guy that was, let me ask if you can guess who this was. He was a man who really only had a slightly hard time with 2 people in the ring his whole career. He was a man who retired for a number of years and then came back around the age of 50 and shocked the world and won the heavyweight championship, and he's arguably the hardest hitter ever in boxing.
George Foreman.
George Foreman. That's my favorite heavyweight. Who's yours?
My favorite heavyweight is still James Toney. James Toney went from middleweight all the way up to heavyweight. So my favorite fighter remains intact. This guy's face doesn't remain intact. Look at the way this guy falls into the corner. Get cold clocked by that straight right hand, and look at the rage quit coming out. Do you know what the Dempsey roll is? The Dempsey roll is actually from a boxing manga called Hamajin no Ippo, and it's actually taken after Jack Dempsey with the hook series that he used to do against a lot of taller fighters. So that's what a Dempsey roll is. I actually do read that manga, and that is my favorite cartoon of all time. Does anyone know if Michael Moore is in Fight Night Champion? Michael Moore is not in Fight Night Champion, Afro. Who will win? Isaac Frost versus Mayweather.
Whoa, let me cut you off there for a second, because dude just sat out in the corner like he was ECW Raven. Quote the Raven, nevermore. You're not fighting Tommy Dreamer, bro. This
Right?
isn't Philly. Get your stuff together. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that straight right hand was something beautiful. Aoki Gogo Plata victory. That comment's for you, man. You might have to read that,
I already answered that. I could see Shinya Aoki on top of Mayweather with that topside Gogo Plata, that Aoki Plata, a move that Aoki's the only man to pull it off on pay-per-view. There's rumors that someone else somewhere did it, but I haven't seen the footage. Anyway, let me talk to you about another excuse that we heard from your boy Bradley. And yeah, I'm calling him your boy. He's your favorite boxer. It's all right. You can admit it. Let me talk about that excuse of he copied another guy from Brooklyn. He copied Mike Tyson. And he thought, okay, I'm not going to wear socks in this match. And somehow that's going to give me better traction. Or why you do that in a match when you haven't done that in a match before? You didn't do it in sparring. I don't know why you do that. But what do you think of that excuse that, oh, man, it's the old Dennis Rodman excuse when he played for the Lakers and he would show up late even though he's on $1 billion contract, and the coach would say, where have you been? And he'd say, well, I wanted to be here on time, but I couldn't find any socks.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of excuse that is, man. I definitely would never get that kind of excuse. I don't know who to really fight with right now. But yeah, one excuse is no excuse at all, especially if it's a bad one. Let's see. Who do you think the heavyweight division will get back to being what it once was? I think it actually will get to being back to what it once was, man. There's a lot of good fighters out there, and there's a lot of talent that's been coming up through boxing now. And boxing is really starting to pick up and starting to get back on the map. Like, not like how it once was, but there's a lot more attraction to boxing than it was, per se, 10 years ago when there wasn't really much talent around. So I think, especially with Deontay Wilder coming back to the heavyweight division, not coming back to the heavyweight division, but going into the heavyweight division and catching a first-round knockout in the last fight, I think that it will get back to being what it once was, but probably maybe even better. Who will win in a fight, though, Arachna? Isaac Frost or Mayweather?
Oh, who would win in that fight? Isaac Frost or Mayweather? I'm gonna say I'm actually gonna. I hate to say this. I'm gonna go with Mayweather just because I know you've beat Isaac Frost, on the greatest of all time. So if a scrub like you from Brooklyn can beat him, why
Wow.
not Mayweather?
The insults. So uncalled for. But
Oh,
I remember Mayweather's father actually being the guy to get in a heavyweight spar with a heavyweight that was running his mouth and actually beat him. So if Mayweather Sr. could do it
hmm
at his age, and I'm not saying, the guy had, and well, let's all be honest here, Frost had no talent. He just hit really hard. And Mayweather's not going to get caught by those type of shots. So I think Mayweather will actually be able to defeat Isaac Frost.
Well, and I also think Isaac Frost is maybe the one guy who outside of the ring is kind of more despicable in the way he conducts himself than Mayweather. I mean, how do we know that Isaac Frost doesn't have a gambling problem? How do we know that Isaac Frost doesn't, run his mouth the way that Mayweather does? I mean, we might see two guys going up head to head who are not only very equally matched in the ring, but also in the sparring gym, on the microphone, on the treadmill, and also in the casino.
Well, let's be honest though. Mayweather actually does win most of the bets that he goes into with. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, the Super Bowl. I know he was upset when those Broncos lost. I mean, I was too. I had the Broncos during the Super Bowl, but who knows? That'll be an interesting kind of character figure to see how they deal with, Isaac Frost if he comes back to Fight Night Champion or Fight Night Champion too. Let's discuss that the next Fight Night though. I
Mhm.
don't want to see another. I don't want to see a story mode in the game. Honestly, don't. It attracted way too many casual fans and way too many guys who bought the game just for the story mode, and then it came online and thinking, hey, I could do this cheap stuff against the computer. Let me do it online.
Right. I mean, but the story mode is kind of fun though because at the same time, some people aren't confident enough to just jump on, into online, and they don't want to have to sit there and play a match exhibition style and then set up another one, play that one. They just like to sit down, have something they can relax with that'll go from match to match to match. So I mean, it was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was enjoyable, but it's like it's not something that you really need. It's got nothing to do with socks or the lack thereof. What do you? I remember Arachnid saying something
Oh,
about Bradley
well,
coming to the ring with no socks.
yeah, he's talking about Bradley losing a match and then complaining that it was because his idol Mike Tyson didn't wear socks. So then Bradley himself didn't wear socks, and it screwed up his ankles and his feet, and he couldn't box, and the footwork wasn't there, and that's why he lost. And it's absolutely right. It was just an excuse.
Yeah,
And also, I don't know that he didn't have socks on. I mean, he might have had those short Dean Malenko style socks on.
but I think
Yeah,
what he's trying to get at is that he feels it's the way that Bradley planted his foot, which is why
yeah.
he said the reason why he said he couldn't box properly was the way he planted on it. I think it was his back right foot when he went to go throw a straight right hand. Not exactly what exactly caused it, but yeah, I do know exactly what you mean.
Well, and another thing I want to talk about that we didn't talk about in that Pacquiao fight, and I would be interested in knowing more about this. And I haven't heard a lot of people talking about this, but I noticed this. Pacquiao from the belly button up was all there, but his legs, I don't know. I mean, later in the fight, it didn't really make a difference, but early on, I'm like, something's going on with Pacquiao's legs. I don't know if he overtrained or maybe his wife was in town and he put the business on her the night before, but something was going on with Pacquiao.
What in the first fight?
No, in the second fight, the one over the weekend, his legs, like he looked kind of slower, and it wasn't the fact that he's 35 because we've seen him in the ring recently. It looked like he might have injured himself on the treadmill or something was going on. You came in later, and by that point it had kind of stopped, but earlier on I noticed that, and I didn't hear the commentators talking about it. I'd be interested if anyone in the chat room had the same feeling.
I mean, considering the way Bradley was fighting, from what I've heard you say early on, even though I didn't get to see the earlier rounds, it sounds like he didn't have to move as fast as he thought he would have to, or what we've seen from him in the past. I mean, even in the later rounds, he wasn't moving that fast either because he didn't have to. Bradley was just running the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound overconfident, but look out for Luke Savia in boxing. You'll watch. One day I'll become the champ. The reason I chose Gary in here is because it sounds awesome. Um, What's up, fighting the Moth man? What's good, homie? Glad that you made it to the stream. Um, yeah, I remember talking to Luke, man. I think he's the guy who's the amateur champ in, I want to say, Ireland. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it was him. Hopefully after this UFC game, they can see what they did right and wrong and make a new Beast Fight Night game. Yeah, I think that can definitely happen, man. That Infinity engine that's going on over there at EA Sports. If you guys know about NBA Live 14, they have like scan and face technology over there now. So it'll be really interesting to see what goes on with EA and how they, they incorporate things into Fight Night Champion.
I mean, I'm sitting here hearing this, and I don't know if I'm in a time machine or maybe I fell out and hit my head, but I remember this same thing being mentioned when they made EA MMA. And they were talking about Fight Night Champion, and they were saying, well, we hope that everything they learned from EA MMA, they'll incorporate into Fight Night Champion. And then Fight Night Champion came out, and to me, the most revolutionary thing in EA MMA, which they should have had in Fight Night Champion, but they didn't, which they should have in the new UFC game, but they don't, was the spectator mode, was the online mode, was all the online stuff, the pay-per-views, the fights on demand. If you wanted to fight someone in EA MMA, you could actually go online and watch their last 10 fights to scout them because the game would save all their stats. I mean, just the whole online thing they completely ditched in this game. They're ditching it in the UFC game. I mean, it's nice. You got a new engine and the graphics are going to be better and you can scan people's faces. But to me, that stuff is important only after the gameplay is there.
Yeah, and that's the main reason why Fight Night Champion wasn't as successful as it could have been, is because they focused more on the story mode and attracting casual fans than they did actually sitting down, making time to make the game properly. Because there's some moments as Pemby66, youtube.com/Pemby66 has mentioned that there's moments where the game would just freeze, like right there. You guys see it and you would think it's a lag spike, but the same thing happens when you fight the computer. So there's constant frame rate drops in the game, and there's little things that could have been fixed if there was no story mode in it. Like round 3 had flawless gameplay, and there was never any of these bugs that you see in Champion, and that's because there was no story mode. If you take the time out to put a spectator mode into a spectator sport, because that's what boxing and UFC is they're spectator sports, you wouldn't even need a story mode. Your casual fans, the casual fans in terms of, like people who come over from like Street Fighter and Madden and all these different games, that's what most of the sales was, which is why the online community is crap. But if you actually take the time to sell the game to boxing fans, to people who watch like ESPN Friday Night Fights, guys who sit here and watch almost every boxing fight that come on, such as T Street from Enter the Arena, or myself, my boy Relapse, youtube.com/XI Relapse. His link is also in the description. Arachne is sitting down, he's watching more of these fights that's coming on nowadays too. Sakuraba watches some boxing every now and again as well. You take time, and you guys in the comment section, if the game is sold to people like us, the flans, right, Kel? But if you sell the game to people like us, your game will be successful, and you'll also have a really good following to it. And then the education value of when you fight people online will also be better.
The problem is that, and this is with all combat sports games, whether you talk MMA, whether you talk pro wrestling, whether you talk boxing, the real money is in marketing these games to the casual people, because there's more casual people than there are internet people and purists who get on the internet and understand the sweet science and understand the technique. And it comes down to, do you want to make a game for 8,000 people, 9,000 people, or do you want to make a game for 1 million people?
See, if you make the game for 1 million people, how many of them are going to stick around for a long time? Most of the time, people are looking at the game in terms of how many copies is it going to sell, like they did with Grand Theft Auto. What you need to look at is the people who's going to patronize the game, the people who are going to work and pay attention towards your game. I remember Fisticuffs talking about this with Call of Duty. You need to go to the people who build your franchise and begin with, and that's boxing fans. Boxing fans are the people who made your sport what it is. Most people who watch combat sports nowadays watch UFC to begin with anyway. So if you sell it to boxing fans, and there's a lot of hidden boxing fans out there now, and who you think are buying the pay-per-views? Casual fans or people who go hard for boxing? It's people who go hard for boxing. You got to get that same TV audience that you have into the video games. Like most of the people who watch my channel, they watch boxing. They know the sport. People don't come over and just say, oh, I want to pick up Fight Night Champion. Most of the guys commenting in the comment section right now that say you guys don't know boxing will be an insult. My subscribers know boxing. I see you guys in the comment section. And then I get those guys who, you know, like to spam and whatnot, and they come by every once in a while and leave comments, and then you guys jump on them. There's little stuff like that I notice. That's where the game needs to be sold to. It's the people who actually know boxing.
Well, let me talk to you about a mode that they had in EA MMA, and EA's done away with it. And I want to hear the people in the comment tell me if you would like to see this mode in a boxing game, because it was awesome in the MMA game. Basically, Fight Night, it would be me and you, we'd go on, we'd have a server, 2 other people would come in. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen. Me and you would have a match, right? The other 2 would sit there, they could watch, they could chat, they could do commentary, whatever. When we're done, they're going to have a match. And then we sit there, we chat, we commentate. The winner of the 2 fights would then fight each other, and it's like a mini tournament. And it's the most awesome thing you can do online in a fighting game.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, I would definitely appreciate that. I like when Tekken Revolution kind of did the same thing. Except there was no tournament style thing. Everybody just kind of wasted out their tickets. But yeah, did y'all get a chance to talk about the Malignaggi Porter bout that's next week? No, we didn't get a chance to talk about that. I'm definitely going with my boy Sean Porter though. I was talking about Sean Porter back on my video versus New York King. I'm not sure if he's watching right now, but yeah, we most definitely will talk about the Paul Malignaggi Sean Porter fight. Which fight night is your favorite? My favorite fight night is Fight Night Round 3.
Yeah, and I was thinking maybe I could get another Need for Speed game out of you, but apparently not, because I'm going with Porter too.
Yeah, you're definitely not getting no Need for Speed game out of me. Now, even though Paulie Malignaggi's from Brooklyn and whatnot, and he's from New York, and I like the way that he fought Zab Judah and the fact that he embarrassed Zab Judah in the last fight, and also I felt that he did really well against Adrian Broner. Not enough to win, but he did really well against him. Yeah, I could see that going on. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, and going back to a couple of minutes ago when they were talking about will we see the resurgence of the heavyweights, because I didn't get to chime in there. I think what's going on in all combat sports is we are experiencing the age of the athlete. And when I say athlete, I mean people like guys who have that work rate, who have that cardio. They don't want to see sluggish people. Not to, say anything bad about some of these heavyweights, but I've told you before Fight Night that I don't think it's put over enough in the sport of boxing that every championship in every weight division is as important in that weight division as the heavyweight title is in the heavyweight division. The heavyweight title is not more important than the welterweight title that we just saw Pacquiao fight for the other night. And people are catching on to that. And you see it with these pay-per-view buys. A Pacquiao or a Money Jr., as I call him, because like I said last time, we hang out, me and Floyd.
Oh, God.
I slap box him and I get the better of him, but I don't say it because I'm modest. Anyway, but people are paying money to see these smaller fighters, so I don't know if you need the heavyweights. Sorry.
Yeah, I understand. I definitely get your viewpoint, but Reese left you a comment, man. You might want to check that out. In the meantime, I'll answer Gary's, on Saturday, LOL. Yeah, I was thinking it was this coming week, pussy. I don't. It's the fact I'm calling you pussy, even though you're not. But yeah. My granddad used to box when he was in the army, and he told me about this one guy who was smacking him up, but after every combination, he would bounce off the ropes. So my granddad will wait till round 15. Yeah, catch him late, man. When that cardio's down, he's not feeling that good. Then go in there and try to kill him. Yeah. I don't know why this dude picked Ray Robinson. We'll get to this guy in a second. He smashed him when he bounced. What is? Okay. He smashed him when he got off the ropes. I see. you are dead about fans not showing interest in sluggers.
Yeah, dead on.
Yeah, definitely dead on about that. Some fans, like the casual fans, all they look for is sluggers. But the true boxing fans, they look for the technical fights, like the Austin Trout Erislandy Lara fight. One of my favorite fights that I saw, I believe that was last year. One of my favorite fights because it was so technical, and even the boxers didn't, not the boxers, even the guys on Showtime did not know how to call it. You had a fight card mode, and oh, that's you.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you guys know what I'm talking about. Close your eyes for a second. We got the ring intros going on. You won't miss anything. You know what I'm talking about when you're watching that boxing match, and it's not about hype. It might not even be the biggest names, but it's those guys in there. The footwork is on point. You can tell they've been running the laps. The cardio's on point. They're picking their spots. When they see their opening, they stick and move. They're throwing the punches and bunches. The combinations are there, and they're actually looking at each round, and they're taking each round into account and using it to switch up their strategy if it's not working. If it is working, they're going to draw it out and see how long it can work before the other guy figures it out. But it's that technical, sweet science, and when you see it and the atmosphere is there, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, man, that technical sweet science along with a spectator mode. Can you imagine just up there cursing out a spammer in the middle of it, up there throwing man step uppercuts and straight right hands, and everybody just barking on him because of the fact he's up there spamming instead of boxing? Do you know how much more people will not be able to spam because they will be getting slayed so bad, and you can have the host of the lobby kick them out of the match because
Yeah.
they're cheating? Like a responsible host that you and your friends can get along with.
Mhm.
Like that would be something amazing, man.
Well, I
Um,
mean, what?
Honey, what do you
Uh-huh.
think about the Philly show? I think the Philly show in real life is really nice. It takes a lot of skill to use it, and it's probably the hardest defense. It is the hardest defensive style to master. I mean, look at Andre Berto. He can't use the Philly show to save his life, and he gets murdered trying to use it. Adrian Broner could not figure out how to get past the left hook from Marcus Maidana and got murdered because he didn't know how to get past it. But let's talk about this Ray Robinson and his Philly show. See, I hate when I fight subscribers and they do stuff like this. Why are you picking Ray Robinson
Right.
knowing the fact that he's the best fighter in the game? Why would you do it?
Yeah. Well, and let me talk to you about something you just mentioned about kicking people out of lobbies if you had like that online kind of mini tournament mode. I always say there should be two types of lobbies in games. There should be a type of lobby where you can go in and you can bring any kind of nonsense you want. Nobody's going to complain and nobody's going to do anything. And then there should be a lobby, like when I talk about how there should be two Americas, an America for people who treat each other with respect, and then the other half will give to the assholes. Okay, so then you've got the other lobby, and in this lobby, you're respectable. You come in, you play the game the right way. And how about this? Almost like when you play certain first-person shooters and you're doing dumb stuff and people can vote to kick you. How about the other people in the lobby, the decent players lobby, have that right? Maybe they'll warn you on the headset or something, but how about they have the right to kick you? And when you get kicked, you lose.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be a really good idea. Like, I can imagine that going down and being extremely successful. Let's hit the comment section once more. Sluggers without athleticism and footwork equal punching bags. I have to
Yep.
disagree with you there, pussy stroker. Why? Because of the fact of Rocky Marciano, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, had no footwork, had no athleticism. Joe Louis didn't have good footwork either, but he wasn't a punching bag. Joe Louis wasn't really a slug as much if he was a boxer, but if he had a slug, he would. You can't say that necessarily. It honestly depends on the fight style and also depends on the era of boxing that you're talking about. I mean, nowadays I will say that's pretty much true. Um, how well do you think Manny and Floyd would do in orders? Oh man, everybody will buy that. Everybody will
Yeah.
buy that. Like everybody's always, even if you don't watch boxing, you know about Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather not fighting. You don't have to be a
God.
boxing fan to know about that. Yeah, I heard Zach talk about them in every video. I didn't get the chance to play them. They sound amazing. Yeah, I've missed the EA MMA era, and I also, I've never played a UFC game or, any form of mixed martial art game in my life. So I don't really know exactly what he's talking about in terms of the lobby. But it sounds like, he showed me a video. Arachne, if you don't mind, if you can find that link and put it in the description so people can see it, you know, they can go there and then they can come back. It was an amazing thing to watch, and it was really funny too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how about this? After we're done, because I'm kind of lazy. I'm chilling out here with my boy Pac-Man. He's letting me wear the belt because he said realistically I'm the real champ if they would ever put me in the ring with him.
Oh my
So what I'm
God.
gonna do, I'm gonna come back later after the stream, and if I can still find that, which there's no guarantees because this was 6 months ago, I will post that link in the chat room so you guys can go see what that awesome fight card was. And basically what they would do was they would take some of the best fighters who weren't spammers. And this is just so amazing. You could actually make your own entrance video with Sony Vegas or whatever. You could put yourself in the video, or it could just be graphics. And it would be a 30-second video that in the game would actually play on the screens in the game, right? You had an entire card. It was hyped up. It was promoted. There were belts on the line. And then they brought in game developers and people who are good at the game who would do commentary over these events. And if you missed the event was available on demand, and these things were on demand for like a year, so you could always go back and watch, or if you were going to fight one of the guys, you could go watch the cards and you could scout them. It was so brilliant, and the game was so much better than the UFC game that was out at the time. I think it's better than all three modern gen UFC games. But of course, people would rather play a game with the big name on it rather than a game that actually has some substance and is 10 times better.
Well, let's talk about a game that's going to be 10 times better than most of these wrestling games out here. I want to try to plug it as much as I possibly can, even though I'm not the hugest wrestling fan. I'm trying to get into it a lot more, and I also feel like small developers, even though they have no clue I'm doing this to try to help them out, I feel like small developers that care about gameplay rather than so much mainstream and making sure that the game looks good. These guys are focusing on how well the game is going to play. Pro Wrestling X to come out. When is it, June, Arachnid?
It's supposed to be June, ProWrestlingX.com if you want to see the website. And when we talk...
Put a link in the description, man. Not in the description. Put a link in the chat so people can look at it.
Yeah, I'll put it in a second. But when we talk about, and let's not go into this, but when we talk about good wrestling games, because I know there's people out there who want to play good wrestling games, and they think that that company out of New York, I won't say their name, I don't watch them, it's the only league I don't watch in the world. They think when those games come out every year that those are good wrestling games, and the truth is those are the worst wrestling games. If you want to play good wrestling games, okay, let me give you a list here. All-Star Pro Wrestling 1, 2, and 3. King of Colosseum 1, King of Colosseum 2. Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, maybe the best wrestling game of all time. The entire Fire Pro series, which is about 25 games. The only decent game that company's ever come out with was a game that was based on a WCW game, WCW NWO Revenge / World Tour / Versus the World, and that was No Mercy. These modern wrestling games suck. Please stop buying them. Please stop hyping them and giving them money. Spend half the... You can get better Japanese wrestling games for half the price, and Pro Wrestling X has the No Mercy controls and the No Mercy feel. Yeah, there's no hype in it, and there's, none of the bells and whistles, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's a better game, and it's going to kind of be like EA MMA, where if you don't support it 2 years from now, people will be saying, man, that game was awesome, and we screwed up because we supported the other thing.
Yeah, that's a great plug, by the way. Arachnid for president, I do agree with that, Afro. I think he will make this country a better place. Fight Night, do you like CeeLo 999? He's a bit of a prick. When I first met him and he was hanging out with Boxing IQ, yes, he was an extreme prick. I talked to him a few times now. I played him in Fight Night recently. He's been on the stream and everything else. What is up with people and their connections today? It's the second race. I don't even know what that is, but either the EA servers are acting up or people are leaving. But, I played him a few times now, and he's been pretty cool, and he's been, he's a fun player to play against now. If I find out he's treating any of you guys like that, I will probably stop playing with him. That's the honest truth. For live tickets, not pay-per-views, of course. LOL. Let me find out what exactly Pussy Stroker was talking about.
Oh, he's talking about he would pay, I think, $3,000 to see Mayweather and Pacquiao.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Most definitely for live tickets, not pay-per-view, of course. I will buy the pay-per-view. Sometimes, most of the time I buy the pay-per-views, but sometimes I'll stream it if I have to. Who will win, Butterbean or Bob Sapp? Considering how bad Bob Sapp's
Oh,
chin is and what I seen Bobby Lashley do to him, I'm going with Butterbean. I would pay 3 G's to watch that Mayweather Pacquiao fight, and I am an average Joe. Yeah, definitely,
yeah.
man. Anybody would pay to see that fight. And LOL, yeah. Okay, let's hit back up. We're gonna hit up
Yeah.
some Tomb Raider now, actually.
Okay. Well, let me send this message first. Yeah, I would go with Butterbean too. And unlike a lot of people, not only have I seen Bob Sapp fail in boxing, I've also seen him fail in pro wrestling, amateur wrestling, and MMA.
Damn. So he's just a failure all over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah, he's a big guy, and he'd be very good at being a bouncer as long as no one put their hands on him. And aside from that, I can't really speak to his athleticism in any one sport.
Yeah, maybe he would have been, probably not as a football player neither. I was thinking maybe he could be a good middle linebacker.
You could
Puts in
stick a
fight.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's a big guy. You could stick him on the defensive line, and he might do some work there.
Yeah, you gotta be a man to play on that line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but he could play for the New York Giants, and then he wouldn't need to be a man.
Oh my God! Don't insult my Giants,
All
man.
right. I'm from New York too, but I mean, you got to know when to throw in the towel. You're like Bradley's corner with that team, telling the guy, "Hey guys, keep it up. You're doing a good job."
Well, the Giants have made some really nice moves during the offseason. They got signed 17 new players last time that I checked. They also got Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, which is going to help strengthen that secondary of the New York Giants. We're also going to have a healthy Corey Webster and Terrell Thomas, which are solid cornerbacks. Not so much Corey Webster as much as Terrell Thomas is. But, I'm thinking the Giants are going to do really well this season. Please stop hating on my team. I'm so tired of this man hating on my team. How much will y'all pay for seats just behind ringside? Whew.
Now wait a minute, because you get those.
For the Pacquiao Pacquiao not Bradley. Pacquiao, what the fuck is Mayweather? That's his name. Like I'm sitting here like, dude, like that's
Little
what the
no-
stream was about.
Little known boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr. has had a little bit of success.
Right? Just a wee bit. Just a wee
Well,
bit.
the thing is, you don't want the ringside seats because if you get those ringside seats, you might get sat next to Manny Pacquiao's mom, and she apparently likes to put hexes on people.
Yeah, did you hear about that? Like, oh, the reason it was the Holy Ghost that beat Bradley. Like, please
Yeah.
stop it. Just like, can you not just admit that the dude lost?
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be every excuse. But I'm still saying I want to hear from Bradley. I want to hear Bradley either tell me what he was doing, why he lost the fight, or tell me that he thinks he won it.
All right, we got a question from Kalem the Pro for you in the comments section, Mr. Arachnid. So, do you believe Nick Diaz will be successful in boxing?
Okay. We've talked about this before. We know your favorite boxer, he went over to MMA. We saw what happened. We know what happens when people who fully train at one thing try to cross over into something else. So you've got Nick Diaz, who he's not used to just, even if you say he's been training for 50 years and this other guy who's a great boxer has been training for 50 years, the boxer has been training for 50 years in boxing. He's never had to take a day to figure out how to put people in kimuras or how to put them in crucifixes or go-go platas or how to shoot in for that double leg or the single leg or how to protect himself from the RNC. So I don't know. He might be very good. There are some people who just have natural athletic ability and they can jump into any sport and they can be very successful. We think of Neon Dion back in the day before he started touching little girls. Some people can do it. So I don't know. I'm not gonna call it and then look foolish. I'm gonna say he's gonna start out with an advantage on someone who's never done any kind of combat sports, and that's all I can say.
Very clear evaluation. I like the Broncos because it got my boy Peyton Manning. I was a Colts fan in the AFC when they had Peyton Manning, and I like the whole team that they have with Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne and Etcher and James at running back. And then once that team started to get slowly broken down, it was like, yeah, the Colts is all right, but I'm more of a Peyton Manning fan than I am a Broncos fan. I'm not sure if they're going to sign back No Sean Moreno. Not exactly sure about that. I'm legend, but they have some nice sign-offs. I think they lost Eric Decker, but I forgot who the Broncos picked up in the offseason. Anthony Petty versus Mayweather. I've heard of Anthony. I heard of him, but I don't think I've seen one of his fights yet. And Pussy Stroker says, LOL. Alright, Arachne, I'm trying to find a team deathmatch so that we can go ahead and get in a few not online rank matches. This is some casual matches so we can get in a few matches before the end of the stream so we can stick true to the Tomb Raider part. Don't worry, guys. We're still going to be talking about boxing. We're still going to be talking about whatever questions you guys leave in the comment section. I'm loving the comment section. This has been the most successful stream that we had. I want to thank everybody who's come out. My boy Afro Killing the Pro. I'm Legend. Pussy Stroker. Gary. Reese. Who else has been in here, man? I've seen a lot of my subscribers.
All right, there's your invite.
About that. And Hakeem also, man. So, I don't know about the fighter who used the corkscrew, by the way. I wasn't really, I didn't really pay much attention. I paid attention to that episode of Hamajin no Ippo, but I don't know the boxer in real life. I've never heard of one who really did that, though. But I can see you're a huge fan of that manga / anime as well. They had a bunch of the, I forgot what series it was in the manga where he was, I think it was, what's his name again? Fuck. It was the tall dude, the middleweight. Takamura, that's his name. I forgot, I think he's fighting David something, or the Eagle Eye guy. They have that series in Japan now with the English subs. I haven't really gone and watched any of the episodes, but yeah, there's 20 episodes of that. You see Arachne already trying to put in some work. I saw him missing all those shots. We up here, though, looking like a straight terrorist.
Look at our team. We're losing. We're getting slaughtered. We spawned into this team that can't do any work.
Well, this guy was just sitting in the corner here, and I clipped him up. Let me kill this guy right here. That's two already for me, man. And all you need is a pro like me to come in the game, and the whole game changes around.
I've been playing with my my little half-breed PS3 Xbox 360 controller, so this controller feels weird to me now.
Why are you not using your regular PlayStation controller?
No, that's what I'm saying. The regular PlayStation controller feels weird to me now.
Okay, you've been on Steam all week, that's why.
Yeah.
You know me, I've been straight mouse and keyboard for a while.
How loose this feels. It feels like
this nigga right here. Alright.
Who's
your favorite football team, English or soccer team in BPL? That's a question I'm assuming for Arachne because I do not watch soccer. Yes,
okay. So when we talk about football teams, there's a lot of people I like. I don't need to go with Man U. Man U is like the New York Yankees of football. They spend the most money, and I'm not impressed by it. You know, I like Newcastle. Let me finish this guy off. There we go. I like Newcastle. The biggest team I like is Chelsea. I like to sport those blue colors. Unfortunately, I'm not a FIFA guy, even though I try. I'm more of a World International Winning 11 guy from way back in the day, aka Pro Evolution Soccer. I also watch a lot of the Mexican. I like Santos, and I don't know. I hope that. Oh, but wait a minute. How did I forget my favorite football team in the world? I'm sure I'll get hate for this. Major League Soccer, because it's American and people aren't on board with it. LA Galaxy. That is my team right there. Hope I answered your question.
Yeah, like I said, I don't watch soccer. I don't grow up playing soccer. I played in the gym a few times, and it seems like a fun sport to play. But watching it, nah, I can't do that. I know the World Cup comes around every year, and there's a lot of people who get excited for that stuff. But yeah, not me, man. I'm straight. Let's see here.
What is this? This guy's got fucking bulletproof armor or something? Come on.
Find people now.
Thank you, whoever gave me that assist. But you must have that special soccer schedule when you're getting the World Cup every year instead of every 4.
Whenever it comes on, man. I don't watch that crap. Well, it's not crap. I just don't watch it.
All right. Yeah,
I love how Hamajin no Ippo, and I love how it teaches me so much more about boxing. You can definitely add me. I am Legend on PSN. Yeah, it was David Eagle. I knew I had it right. Yeah, I'm not sure if you read the manga or not, man, but the fact Ippo got knocked down in that last round, I was really surprised about that. But, you know, I like how they told him he got hit by that left hook. And the fact that he didn't... The thing about that I like about the manga is that, yeah, it will tell you some stuff, that how it goes towards boxing, and it will teach you about boxing. But it doesn't really go down in boxing the way that it does in the manga. It's two completely different things.
Man, I hate when I'm somewhere and people try to camp around me.
Like the way they talk about getting onto the inside for the most part is correct, but it's more about lateral movement. There's nobody really that fast, and you can't really throw that many. Like, it's a good mix of fiction and it's a good mix of. Dang, that dude had 19 deaths. Like, hold on, I just looked over at the screen. Like, God, 19 deaths.
And 4 kills. That's why we lost.
Yeah, both of them had 19 deaths.
When we just came in, we both had 3 kills, and you had an assist.
Yeah, but yeah, the inside, the way that you get onto the inside, and the way they talk about outside movement and things like that, it's not all correct. But it's it's that good balance between fiction and actual boxing. My favorite football team is Derby County. Yes, you may laugh, but we have been on a roll recently. You probably won't know who they are, but haha.
Yeah, Gary says he likes West Ham. I like West Ham as well. I pretty much like just good football. I like most of the teams in Barclays Premiership, to be honest with you. I know who Arsenal is. I remember it must have been 2009 when Arsenal signed that license agreement to actually have their name in Pro Evolution Soccer without you having to change the kit. I like them. I've played them on their team in Become a Legend mode. Yeah, I guess they're just asking me about every sport tonight.
Yeah, and it's good. Like, you get the different mixture. I can talk a little bit about boxing and actual real football. We could talk about basketball if y'all want. Remember, you guys seem to like Arachnid a lot, man. So remember, his link is always in the description. He's in the sub box on everything. Arachnid Soul, that's the man. YouTube.com/Arachnid Soul. Y'all should take the time out, leave the stream, come back after you subscribe to that man's channel.
Oh my God, I'm just. Yes, please subscribe to my channel because I need. But don't. You know what? The thing is, if. Listen, I'm just telling people, don't subscribe to me out of pity. I don't want pity subscriptions. Go to my channel, look at my content. I do game reviews, I do wrestling, I do commentary, and I feel some of the best interviews you're going to find with commentators on YouTube. Doing an interview, I'm like a young Ric Flair. I can go out there with the broomstick and give you a 5-star classic. Flair now is old. He needs a heartbeat in there with him. Anyway, so yeah, if you like my content, then, subscribe. No obligation. I'm getting slaughtered here.
Yeah, I mean, like, most time you subscribe to people for the personality, man. Like, as a commentator, I'm a pretty serious guy. I can be funny if I want to. But for the most part, that's the main reason I subscribe to people on YouTube like this. My boy Multi-Styles now. He's just hit 1,000 subscribers, and he has really good content. You can tell he puts in the effort. He talks about stuff that I like to hear. I'm about to hop into some of these comments in a second. As soon as I kill this little... Oh my God, I'm doing terrible. Yeah, definitely, Gary, you add me tomorrow. I'll be more than glad to add you. I'm sorry, I got distracted by Pussy Stroker's comment here. Keep it boxing. Like I said, we could talk about all different things. It's a stream, man. Like, we start off talking about boxing, and you never know. We diverse into different things. That's the great thing about streaming. Like, I know for gameplay, you might be more interested in seeing boxing than you would be in seeing a third-person shooter, especially when I'm not performing at my greatest right now. But, I thought you was here more because I thought you like to talk to me, man. I see how it is, though. I'm kind of hurt. I'm just keep running, man, because that's what I do.
Oh man, I should have had that kill. And the other thing is, and I know this isn't about boxing. We talked about boxing for what, an hour and a half?
Yeah, it kind of does look like Uncharted, but yeah, we have been talking about boxing for quite a bit of time, man. They should incorporate clinching into the next fight night. Now that I think about it, clinching's there. Nobody just actually uses it, man. Ask Dave the Rip One, YouTube.com/Dave the Rip One about the clinching that I gave him using Lennox Lewis and he was using Evander Holyfield. Clinching works. I might after like another game. Oh my God, especially the way this game is going right now. Give me another game. I'm gonna play one more and I'll go back to Fight Night real quick and I'll show you the clinch, man. The clinch works. The clinch
We
definitely works.
we need to hop into some like one-on-one or something next time before we come in here.
Yeah, because I'm getting absolutely slaughtered.
I mean, we used to be two beasts on this game, but I've been playing God, Loadout and everything else, Sanctum 2 and all these other first-person shooters with other controls on Steam, and then to come back into here.
Yeah, I'm getting absolutely slaughtered right now.
I mean, I'm not gonna quit, but I'm not gonna have a problem with you going back to Fight Night after we lose this round.
Yeah, I can't do that
Oh.
right now. Definitely need to practice a bit more. I have not touched my PlayStation since last time I streamed.
I'm the same way. Well, let's talk about that because we're two sellouts. We're two people who really love playing consoles, and we still love our consoles, but we've been gaming on PC almost exclusively the past month.
Yeah, because it's just something new for me right now. I don't really PC game at all. Arachne's trying to get me into all these other games. I'm not even going to begin to talk about my one and only love on the PC.
You were Mr. PC. You're the one who you asked me if I'd ever be a PC gamer. You introduced me to the
I ain't no PC gamer. I'll be the first to say it.
Okay, all right.
Reese wants you to follow him on Twitter, man. I follow Reese on Twitter too, man. He actually knows what he's talking about. The things that he follow, you know, I look at it and I'm like, that's something interesting. You know, oh my, yeah, that's it. I'm about to rage quit, man. Like how I spawned right behind this guy and he shoots me in the head as soon as I spawn. Yeah, I'm getting absolutely murdered. Anybody who remembers the first Tomb Raider stream, man, I was up there with quadra kills and everything. Now it's like, yeah, Fight Night. You need to go back to Fight Night. So we're about to lose this round, and God knows when. Yeah, I'm gonna come up behind him.
Oh my God!
This guy. Look at this guy.
Yeah, you ever hear that phrase? Just put them out of their misery. That I'm looking for that right now.
All right, this is one of those matches in League where you just ask to surrender at 20. Because
you
know the consequences.
But talking about the whole PC gamer thing, I don't get it. It's all gaming. Who cares if you're playing it on a computer? And by the way, gaming on computers isn't like what you think it was 15 years ago. It's like gaming on a console now. You can even do it with the controller on your big screen. It's the same stuff. I'm a gamer. I play PC games. I play console games. I really don't care. I play games on my cell phone.
Not me. I would not say I'm a gamer. I'll be the first to say that. Most people say, yeah, you know, I'm a gamer. But for the most part, I really usually only play sport games. Excuses. Come on, Reezy. I'm telling you, dog.
That's a gamer. That's a game. I mean, that's another thing I hear people say. They tell me, I'm not a gamer. I only play RPGs or I only play sports games. You don't have to be eclectic. Yeah.
A gamer is those guys, when people think about gamers, they think about the hardcore guys. The guys who, you know, sit in the mother's basement for like 3 hours straight. No showers for 2 weeks.
There's so many people.
Mad Cheez-Its and, what the heck?
There's so many people buying consoles now and gaming now, and you see the sales of, you know, Grand Theft Auto. It really isn't just that dorky guy anymore. It's everyone, especially now with the tablets and the smartphones.
Man, my girlfriend loves her some Candy Crush, man.
Oh yeah, there was a girl who tried to get me into that too.
Yeah, I produce hip-hop music on my channel. Check it out if you want. Ooh, this man up here giving him plugs. Hey, Fight Night, what music do you listen to or artists? Yeah, I like hip-hop music, man. I want somebody to make me like I'm scared to ask, but I want multi-styles or, you know, somebody like that to make me a custom intro song for my channel. I would love that, man. That's the one thing I want somebody to do for my channel that they haven't. You know, Arachnid's made me some splash arts. He's made me my channel background. He's also made me my watermark. He's made me these watermarks for the stream, actually. I had some guy made me a few songs. With Breezy made me a few songs as well. I saw my boy DJ Fusion go up here. And, what's it? Yeah, it's DJ Fusion. I was about to say, I hope I didn't give this man a wrong plug, but yeah, he makes like different beats and stuff. Like he has like a lot of anime stuff on there, but like the music is really quality. So for me, music is just I like good instrumentals. Also like people who make good like rap instrumentals. Like I'm not really a fan of like how it is now. I don't know why I kept climbing up that wall, y'all. But Any type of instrumentals, I'm really interested into. I'm not a fan of techno music at all.
Love techno.
Well, of course, you're arachnid.
I mean, I love it. Listen, I love everything. I have to tell you, I'm not a big fan of rap music just because when I lived in Brooklyn, they blasted it so much. I don't like rap. I don't like reggaeton.
I don't
Just
like reggae neither, that, especially at the parties. That gives me a headache, man. I can't do the reggae.
I used to go to a gym in Brooklyn and they would blast reggaeton to the point where I had to put in earplugs just to work out at the gym. Not because the music sucked, but just because it was that loud.
Oh, I got a video for you that I gotta show you later too.
All right, you might as well switch over to some Fight Night Champion now because we need to practice this before we start doing this on stream.
Yeah, we're gonna have like these practice sessions. Like I see my girl Amber have on her stream. They have like practice sessions before they actually go play League on ranked. Ha ha ha. No, ha 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 to you, Colum. I know what you thought this was. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna hop onto one more Fight Night match. We're gonna show y'all the clinch game. The clinch game is too real. I'm telling you.
I mean, you have to at least admire the fact that there's not clinch spammers in the game.
Well, yeah. Imagine a guy holding you for the whole fight. Like that's that Sakuraba stuff. My boy, the glue, just pin you to the mat in UFC for the whole time.
I don't know who it was. It might have been maybe you were in a match or someone else, but there was a guy and he kept getting rocked. And someone was doing commentary over it and said, why doesn't he go for the clinch? And I'm like, because he doesn't know the clinch is in the game.
Yeah, most people don't know about the clinch. I think this game looks horrible. Tomb Raider is really fun. I didn't show a good example of it right now.
I Am Legend. Yeah. Not only is it fun, it's probably one of the best games I've played in a couple of years. The single player, which I know Fight Night hasn't got to, I mean, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I haven't played the single player yet, but I really do like the multiplayer. If you look back at the stream on my channel after this, we have a Tomb Raider stream with me and Arachnid on it as well. I think that one's really funny as well. A lot of people seem to enjoy it, the ones who did go back and watch it. But you'll see the difference in how we play the game there, and it really is a fun game. And that was my first day playing it online too. Yeah, Candy Crush, grannies and everybody's into it. It's like Candy Crush is like Dr. Dre headphones, man. No matter how old you are, you got a pair.
I have to admit, I'm a gamer. I've seen Candy Crush. I know girls who play it. I don't know what it is. Is it kind of like a Dr. Mario or a Tetris type game or something?
I don't know what it is, but I know my girlfriend's hooked on it.
Okay. And yes, I do like Daft Punk. I like some hip hop, but usually not. Usually I'm so eclectic, man. I can listen to my boy Dean Martin. I love Dean Martin and Sinatra, but at the same time, I love heavy metal. I love Pantera and Metallica and Cattle Decapitation. I love techno. I love house music. I'm all over the place. Elton John, Sarah McLachlan. There's a bunch of stuff I like.
Yeah, I don't know who Daft Punk is neither, man.
You don't know Daft Punk?
Look at Kello in the comment section.
Get lucky. I don't even listen to like music videos and watch all the modern stuff, but I mean, I know Get Lucky because I couldn't stop hearing it all last summer from Daft Punk.
Oh my god, I don't know who that is.
Man, that was the jam. All right, we're gonna have to let you listen to that after this stream. I think you'll like it.
Okay, but I don't know who Daft Punk is. I'm sure his stuff is copyrighted, so I can't play anything from it.
Yeah. Well, it's a group, not a him, but all right.
It's a group. Okay. The Glue. Yeah, Sack is the man. If you haven't checked this channel out, either all those guys that I'm cool with, it's in the description, man. All the YouTube.com/ers, everybody's there. My boy Red Eye Jedi, who was here earlier in the stream. Arachnid's in there, Relapse is in there, Pemby's in there. Now look at this guy right here. This is going to be straight try-hard mode. And the reason for this is that this dude is 6,300 wins and 52 losses. How much you want to bet? Leave it in the comment section right now that this guy is a spammer. I guarantee he's a spammer. But we're going to see how much spamming he can do when he's getting clinched all over the place.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, Roy Jones, by the way.
Well, certainly with that record, you can't say that he doesn't like this game.
I had to play that many matches by now. I had to, but just the many times I not start over OWC fighters. I'm not a head-to-head guy. by any means, or I am now, but before I was definitely an OWC guy.
Okay.
Let's see if he's just good or if he's going to be a spammer. He seems
Right.
like
Well,
he got some nice combos so far.
you're coming in with Andre Bishop. Do you think that you would like to play with the kind of more scruffy looking Bishop? Like you wish that was an option where he comes in with the afro and the beard?
Oh, like how it is on how some people have it on Xbox. I would like to play with that Bishop. I mean, I like the clean cut Bishop better, but you know that's just me.
Let me talk to you about something, because when you play that legacy mode, and you know what I'm talking about, he's like the janitor at the gym. I don't want to spoil too much for people who haven't played it yet,
Come on,
but
maybe I
there,
had to play that by now.
yeah,
I
hopefully.
got
I
a
mean,
whole
there's
cutscene movie of it on.
there's that asshole, and he's teasing you, and you get in the ring with him, and the first thing he does is take a cheap shot, and you guys are just fighting now essentially without any rules or regulations. But then why, when you try to throw a low blow, do you lose that segment by disqualification?
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I guess you're just supposed to beat him fair because of the fact that he was doing it to your brother.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. They didn't want you, you know, trying to show Raymond the ropes in the wrong ways. Like, this is what I was doing back in prison.
right. Man, you know what you should do one of these days? I don't know if anyone plays it online, but I'm sure you have the DLC, maybe like a bare knuckle fight.
No, I actually don't have the DLC for Bare Knuckles.
Really?
But there's like, it's so hard to find a match in there. And
Yeah,
the funny
I mean,
thing is, you don't need Bare Knuckles mode to play Bare Knuckles. All that somebody has to do is just create a lobby, and then you can play Bare Knuckles against somebody.
oh, okay. Yeah. So what is your strategy going in here? Because I just see guys throwing punches. No offense, I'm not seeing a lot of technique so far.
Yeah, we're gonna get the clinch game going on in the next round, but I'm going in there. I'm throwing out a lot of punches now to see what kind of combinations he's gonna throw, and I want to see if he's gonna go ahead and resort to spamming right now. Definitely for spammer. Gary thinks he's gonna be one too. So far, he's shown he's not. But we'll see in these later rounds. He's shown he's got some combinations. The thing is that he's using Bishop, which is the funny thing.
Yeah. Now,
So,
while
I mean,
we're
anybody
just,
could get a win with Bishop.
I mean, this almost reminds me of that first round that Pacquiao and Bradley had. This is exactly how it was. They just went all out, and it was awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that's not going to last this whole fight. It's going to come down to a more technical display.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't know if you noticed, Sakuraba1982, we have to give him a little bit of congratulations and say mazel tov to him. He hit 1 million views on his channel in the last couple of days.
Yeah, Sakuraba definitely is a hard worker. Give him another plug once more, youtube.com/Sakuraba1982. Definitely glad for him that he was able to hit that many channel views, especially doing it properly. That's the thing. Most people going out there, they're buying these subscribers, they're buying these views. They're not doing things the proper way, but he's done it the right way. And, you know, anytime you can do something the right way, you got to appreciate somebody for doing it.
Yeah. And I actually just recorded a dual commentary over a new game that was just released and most people haven't heard of it, and that will be up on my channel on Saturday. But I'd like to talk about these subscribers that people pay for. I'm actually trying to help my friend launch a company. I went to marketing business school when I was in college, and I went with her, and she's trying to start a music company. And she said to me the other day, you know, you're so good. You do all this Twitter stuff at Arachnid Soul. There's another plug. And can you help me buy some Twitter followers so I can help promote these artists? And I told her, I call them hollow children. These empty followers. They're not there. It's dummy accounts. And I was telling her, you're just going to waste your money on a bunch of people who will never be there to retweet or like or comment or anything else. And when people look at your artist, they're going to say, well, yeah, they have a lot of subscribers, but nobody cares.
Okay, so before we go on to the hollow children, let's talk about this guy right here, why he rage quit. And there's a good reason for it. He didn't rage quit because, you know, he was a good fighter or anything, or, you know, he had something to go do. The reason I believe he rage quit was because he realized, like, hey, I can't do this well. The fact that he started getting outboxed in the second round when I went and trade with him and chase him around, it got him frustrated along with the clinch. So that's the result of the clinching, guys. I'm going to try to do the same thing. We're going to fight CeeLo here, get in a few clinches. if someone clinches you, go Ivan Drago on their ass and chuck them across the ring. Well, you can't do that, Gary. You definitely can't. Punching while clinching is against the rules. No, it isn't. You can clinch, but until the referee says break in real life, then yeah, that's when you have to break it. But you can definitely punch your way out of the clinch. Ray Robinson is famous for that. People trying to clinch him, and he'll go with those uppercuts downstairs to the body. They will allow you to punch while in the clinch. Yeah, they definitely do. And yeah, do y'all work with MMA Game? No, I do not work with MMA Game. I've seen him a few times in the comment section. I know he hasn't worked with Sakuraba, but I know he knows Sakuraba. But I don't particularly work with him.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't watch a lot of MMA gaming channels. I mean, I do watch Sakuraba's channel because I'm friends with him and I like MMA. And I was actually watching his
first because he was here first. Sorry about that.
All right. No, I was saying I was actually watching Sakuraba even before I started my channel, so I really don't know about other people who post MMA games. I mean, I'm sure he's got a great channel. I just don't know. I just haven't seen any of his stuff.
Yeah, but the thing that I really like about Sakuraba is the fact that he educates you about what's going on. Most people don't educate you when you're watching. You just see a bunch of people, talking about UFC or might talk about what's going on in the gameplay. But I haven't seen anybody quite like Sakuraba go up there and educate you about what's going on.
Right. I mean, and I can tell you, I've watched all of the league's Sakuraba watches in Japan and in the United States and watching old UFC and Pride. And even before that, I mean, I mentioned this to Sakuraba the other day on our hype train for the EA MMA. A lot of people don't realize that MMA was a division of professional wrestling, and that's where it came out of, like how you have a women's division or a hardcore division. And I was watching that early style over in Japan. It started in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Sakuraba was also watching that. So when you hear Sakuraba talk about MMA, he's talking about MMA, not just UFC. He's also trained for like 20 years in different disciplines. He's studied people. He's read Bruce Lee's books. I mean, he's the real deal. When you talk to him off camera about MMA, he knows his stuff.
Okay, you want to do a mirror match? All right.
That's CeeLo up there talking about the mirror match. Listing. This ought to be fun. I really didn't catch what you were saying or acting it, but I'm sure it was interesting that time.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. Thanks.
I'm sorry, man. I was trying to message somebody back, and I was trying to set up the fight so people can watch. King Cash is gonna be the last guy to stream. I know you say you're watching King, so you're the next one after this, and you're the last guy. Unless if it just keeps going on well, then I'll keep going. But I'm really appreciating everybody who's leaving these comments right now. I just want to say that to everybody leaving comments. I really do appreciate you guys coming out and watching the stream, and I hope you're enjoying yourself. What's up, Ace of Cards? Ace of Cards says what's up to everybody who subscribed. I had them on my friend list for a long time.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out I'm scrolling up to see if we missed any conversations or any comments.
I think we're good so far. I'm trying to make sure I get everybody as I see them coming. But yeah. So what were you talking about before I so rudely wasn't paying attention?
Oh, what was I talking? I was talking about Sakuraba and how he was the real deal when it comes to knowing MMA, and how I've talked to him. I've talked to him extensively offline about MMA. He puts those videos out. He might talk to you for 5 or 6 minutes in a video. I've sat down and talked to him for hours about guys like Polar Bear and, Kazushi Sakuraba and Boss Rutan and UWFI and Pancrase, Rings, Elite FC. We've talked about Dream. We've talked about when Tito Ortiz was good. And we've talked about people like, again, Ken Shamrock, his brother Frank Shamrock, the Polar Bear. I mean, we sit down, we go to town, and when this EA MMA game comes out, EA UFC, excuse me, believe me, Sakuraba's channel is going to be awesome, and I hope he will have me over there to do some of the stuff with him, because that would be awesome.
Yeah, Sakuraba's definitely the number one UFC guy, in my opinion. He knows so much about it. He does it in real life. I mean, like, what more can you ask from somebody?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're interested in MMA or you're trying to learn about MMA, go over to his channel. He would definitely teach you not just about UFC, but mixed martial arts in general.
Yeah, I would also say that if you're interested in learning about MMA, go watch some stuff that isn't MMA. This is a crash course in knowing when you're watching MMA and it's not up to par. MMA traditionally was not done in a cage. You had certain little groups here, there, little indie groups, freelance groups, they're called in Japan, where they would have their fights in a cage. UFC was kind of the company that put the cage on the map. You had like King of the Cage, you have some other things in the United States, but UFC did that. With that said, any company that comes out in the United States that decides to have their MMA in a cage and not in a ring, to me, they're not trying to be an MMA organization. They're trying to be a UFC organization. It would be like if somebody started a boxing league and had a cage instead of a ring. Yes, you could do it, but every boxing organization that came after that decided to have a cage would be trying to emulate the first one that had a cage instead of trying to emulate the sport of pro boxing.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a really good example. We got some comments there. Try to get them. Let me get them now since we're in between rounds. This is my first time tuning in. Can y'all introduce yourselves one more time? You want the actual introduction, or do you want like what we know and what we cover? Because we can do that. Sakuraba knows his stuff. He is a black belt in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. I love to have a combo with him about MMA. And he says, are you sure? I searched what would happen if a boxer turned their back to the opponent, because I remember Ali did that in his fight against Ken Norton, and Norton got mad because of it. Well, you're not supposed to turn your back towards the fighter, because if you turn your back towards a fighter, that will be considered as you cannot defend yourself. It's the same thing in MMA where MMA. It's the same thing. Like if you're on your back and you're considered extremely vulnerable and the referee can stop the fight, or that's a really good position to have your opponent is. You never want to give up your back.
Well, I believe that's how Brock Lesnar lost his UFC championship. He was in a fight with, God, who was that guy? And I believe it was a Mexican guy, and the name's right on the tip of my tongue, but he turned his back and the referee said, hey, you can't defend yourself. But yeah, I guess we can introduce ourselves. And yes, UFC barely had any rules in the 90s when it was mixed martial arts in a different sense, because it was the guy who was just a beer drinking bar brawler going up against a kickboxer, and everyone in UFC back then didn't try to conform and fight the Gracie style, or BJJ as they're calling it now, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. But for the guy asking for our names again, my name is Arachnid Soul. You see my link there on the left side of the screen. You see my Twitter, and you can follow me. I'm Arachnid Soul, the one talking, the one who kind of sounds like Dean Martin at times, and then at other times sounds like Manny Pacquiao.
Oh my God.
What's going on? It's your boy Arachnid Soul, intellectual, voracious, and passionate about gaming as always. And now we're gonna go over to Fight Night's Finest.
Well, this is pretty much my channel. I thought you might have just like I guess you just stumbled across the channel randomly, but yeah, I'm Fight Night's Finest. I talk about boxing, I talk about Fight Night Champion in general, and I talk about gameplay. I also talk about some topical stuff, some stuff that I'm like interested in, or something I might have a few thoughts about, and try to show you it from a different perspective. But I'll do my intro for you one more time. What is good, boxing fans and gamers? It's your boy, Fight Night's Finest, the Sophie commentator, back with another live stream here with the boy Arachnid. So there you go, Mr. Stroker.
And Reese is right. It was Cain Velasquez that was the man that I was talking about who fought Lesnar that night.
Right now, Seal is giving us work, and we got to start concentrating before we end up getting which one to use Arachnid. So Arachnid is the guy with how do I explain this?
Well, I mean, I just listen.
That's Arachnid.
We're both from Brooklyn, but Fight Night's Finest sounds like he's from Brooklyn, and I don't sound like I'm from Brooklyn. So Arachnid Soul's the guy from Brooklyn who doesn't sound like he's from Brooklyn.
Arachnid's the basically white guy, black guy.
But the thing is, you always say I'm white and I'm not white.
I know you're not white. You're Spanish, but you sound white.
I'm not Spanish. Why? Because when I do my commentary, I say things like "La Quebradora con Hilo" and "Especial de Gori Guerrero." I'm not Spanish. I'm American. All right, I'm a citizen of the world.
Oh my god. What's your skin color though?
I'm a nice tan. I'm like
Oh my god, stop.
you know, like a little caramel macchiato, a little peanut butter brown, like a, you know. All right, let's see here. It's 3 a.m. Let's talk to this guy.
3 a.m.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah, well, he's over there in the UK or something.
Oh yeah, Reese. Man,
Gary
Reese.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
Gary too.
yeah, Gary. So yeah, go ahead and add us. If you like my content, add me. But if not, I really don't want, the hollow children following me on YouTube or on Twitter.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the hollow children, shall we?
All right. So anyway, this is a reference from a game binary domain in which there's a bunch of humans, and it turns out that some of the humans are robots, but they don't know it until they get shot, and then you see their metal under their skin. And these people are called hollow children. Essentially, they look like human beings, but inside they're hollow because they're robots and they have no emotions. And that's kind of what I think when I see people paying for subs or doing sub for sub. And I think, okay, that's nice. You've got a billion people following you, but there are a billion hollow children.
Yeah, so technically it's like you didn't work for anything that you got. Like I have 1,324 subscribers. Last time I checked, it might have been 1,326. But those are all people that I pretty much earned. Like everybody's, like I had a few shout outs from Sakuraba and, a couple of guys smaller than me. But my core group of subscribers is just people I generated from YouTube trafficking and people who just found my channel trying to learn about how to play Fight Night and, other people who plugged me in. So those are people that I've earned. I don't have hollow subscribers. Those are all guys that found my channel, liked what they see, and subscribe. A hollow child would be somebody who you pay for. You never see them. You never see them comment. The view would be there, but they never comment. So it's basically like you're doing YouTube for yourself.
Right.
You're not doing it for anybody else.
Well, it's not even that they don't comment, but what people do is there's people who in their free time on the weekend have almost like secondary jobs, and their job is they go home and they spend the whole weekend making YouTube accounts and Twitter accounts so then they can sell those followers to people. So it's not even that the people aren't saying anything, it's that the people don't exist. They're dummy accounts.
Yeah, they're not going to say anything if they're dummies, aren't they?
Sometimes the people creating the dummy accounts will go the extra mile and they'll take a celebrity and put it in the picture and you'll say, wait a minute, isn't that Christina Applegate?
Even though it's not, I mean.
Yeah.
You would have been like, damn, is that Kerry Washington? She commenting on my videos? And you like...
Man, didn't I tell you to stop looking at my girl, Kerry Washington?
Oh my God. So first of all,
Listen.
Mayweather. No. Let's get this straight. You get the better of him in sparring sessions. Remember, you say you slap box Mayweather. And then you know your boy Manny as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me guess, you're sleeping with Kerry Washington.
We had a little affair.
Oh my God.
No. I don't like.
Let's hear this one stream.
I don't like to tell tales out of school or kiss and tell. Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna make a lot of money with this with the paparazzi. But let's focus on this match right here. CeeLo's actually turning up right now, and he's doing a pretty nice job of counter punching and just picking his shots better than I am right now. He's pretty much figured out my timing, so I'm pretty much on autopilot because I'm trying to talk. But we're gonna try to turn things up here now, try to concentrate a bit. The thing that I'm noticing right now, he just knows my timing, therefore he's able to get off first. We gotta stop that from happening. We gotta limit the counter punches as usual on my channel. I have a problem actually stopping people from counter punching me. I just end up getting myself counter punched because I fall into a predictable rhythm, and that's something I have to change. I really appreciate everybody who watched that analyzing losses videos because I think it helped me understand the mistakes that a lot of people make, and also I was able to help some people as well as see what I'm doing wrong, and I can go ahead and fix that myself. So lads, I'm staying. I haven't got anything to do tomorrow other than train, but later in the day. All right, Reese, I'm glad you're gonna be here for a bit longer. Cool, thanks. Glad you enjoyed Pussy. I'm glad that you figured out who we all are. I didn't get to say bye to Gary, but thanks for watching the stream, Gary. more than glad that you just stopped by. And yeah, ghost followers kill them. That's basically what they are. So now we're gonna have to establish that jab once more, which is what allowed us to take the first 2 rounds, was that jab, and then we lost track of that. And that's what Sonny Liston is known for, man. He has that piston-like left jab. Besides the loss to Ali, that's what Sonny Liston is pretty much known for. So we got to get back to doing that.
Yes,
we're gonna hear Arachne's tall tale now about him and Kerry Washington, though.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty tall. That's why she was with me, but we're not talking about that.
God, Arachne,
but that was just her a second ago on the phone. Some girls, you break up with them, they just can't handle it. But anyway, you guys didn't hear this from me. I did date Kerry Washington. We were together for a little while, about 75, 76 years. And then I said to her, you know what, Carrie, I have a higher standard. I like a better looking woman. So this just isn't working out anymore. So I had to break it off with her, and that's the whole story.
Sure, I mean, I might as well go ahead and sell that to the paparazzi and see how much money I make off of that.
Hey,
anyway.
I know it's true because they reported it on Fox News.
Oh, so everything Fox News reports is real all of a sudden. Okay, all right.
Anyway, what's going on in this fight now?
What's going on right now, Sealer's got my timing down. We're trying to get back to basics by landing that jab, and we're trying to get back to throwing some good solid combinations as we catch another counter punch right there. Out-time him and land the power straight of our own. That's what he's looking for now, some clean and effective shots to keep him in this round. And we're going to make sure we keep him off balance with that jab, let him walk into it.
All right, now was this, I believe you fought him on the last live stream, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Sealer's been a great opponent to fight. He fights that sim-like style. We're going to start mixing in some clinches and stuff here to see if we can't get him a little bit more frustrated. A legend wants us to go to 11. I didn't get to see that. I got punched in the face, but I'm looking at the comment section. I hear the vibration of my controller like, oh, snap.
Don't start going all Bradley on us now.
Right? All of a sudden. So right now, let's go for another hour. All right, we'll stream to 11 since that's what you guys want to see. All right, Arachne. So what do you guys believe Arachne's tall tale about him and Kerry Washington? Of course they don't believe it. Nobody believes that.
Oh, I mean, listen to me. Do you know there was this guy Barry? I used to hang out with Barry all the time. We were really good friends. You might know him by a different name. You might call him President Obama or Barack. I just call him Barry because we go way back. And we used to pick up honeys all the time in Honolulu. I'm trying to tell you.
Honolulu. Okay, Arachne. Okay. Let's see, have you ever heard of the term pathological liar?
Dude, he wanted me to be vice president, and I told him I didn't have the time, so he gave it to Biden.
So what experience do you have in politics?
Are you kidding me? Who do you think took over in the Philippines when Manny Pacquiao went back to boxing?
Oh, my God. So you didn't do nothing in the United States, though?
Well, the thing is, I like to, these guys that like to be career politicians in one country, it's not impressive to me. It's like when Bret Hart and Ric Flair fight, and Ric Flair always puts Bret Hart in his place and says, yeah, well, you were only the world champion really in one place. I was successful everywhere. That's kind of how it is. I'm a jack of all trades. I've been the king of England. I put on a wig. I was the queen of Scotland for a while. I went to the Philippines. I was the prime minister. I've been the Martian president back when I had my rocket ship, but I ran out of fuel. I do a little bit of everything. So he wanted me to be a vice president. And it came down to me, Biden, or Hillary Clinton. He asked me first. I rejected it. He asked Hillary. She rejected it because we were kind of dating at the time. She didn't have time for it. Finally, he settled on Biden. I will never tell you that again. So you go with
Cougars now, too. That was her revenge against Clinton, huh?
Oh, well, listen. Bill's off doing his own thing. Hillary wanted a little revenge. I hope this doesn't come up when she runs for president because this might hurt her campaign. But, yeah, I was a little bit involved with Hillary Clinton. Now, we know for a fact that you were involved with someone, too. Another political figure, George W. Bush's mother, Barbara Bush.
Oh, my God. See, so now you just Arachne as a player. Oh, my. Y'all believe him?
Yeah. They know what's going on. Come on. They know what time it is.
Yo, I'm done, son. I'm done.
Can't believe you're still...
Y'all believe this right now? This is a compulsive, pathological liar.
Man, that's why you're getting punched in the face. Why don't you focus on this video and try to sprawl him out like that Jordan logo?
Yeah, oh my God. Anyway, so Pussy wants us to break down Malignaggi versus Sean Porter. Reason I believe Sean Porter is going to win. One, I like exactly what he did to Devin Alexander. And Devin Alexander is the same kind of fighter that Paulo Malignaggi is. You know, he relies on combinations. He does some really nice work to the body. And he also does some nice work to the head. We saw Devin Alexander is obviously a harder puncher than Paulo Malignaggi is. Even though we know Paulo Malignaggi has the better jab, I believe Sean Porter will be able to apply that same pressure that he did to Devin Alexander. Throw Devin Alexander out of his game. I mean, he would throw Paulo Malignaggi out of his game the same way he did to Devin Alexander. And then that will allow him to be able to go to work on the inside. And, you know, he's been in sessions with Pacquiao. And he's been able to do some work against Pacquiao. So I really do believe Sean Porter will be able to be the one to beat Paulo Malignaggi and stop this little streak. Stop this little winning streak that he's on.
Well, I think it'll be a good fight. Let me ask you, you think that Porter is going to win it? You've got to think, when you say he's going to win it, you got to think he's going to win on points, right? You don't think he's going to knock anybody out.
No, see, Paulo Malignaggi has a really good chin. You know, Adrian Broner's claimed to have power, and he was not even able to put Paulo Malignaggi down. Miguel Cotto has been the last person to stop Paulo Malignaggi, so I do believe Sean Porter won't score any knockdowns on him, but he definitely will beat him on points. And Porter's not a power puncher anyway, per se. I mean, he's more of a boxing puncher like how Devin Alexander is.
Okay, and not to stop talking about this, but you talked about Cotto. Do you think that the way that he kind of hung on and being a De La Hoya fan, we always said, like, Cotto's hanging on until De La Hoya retires so Cotto can be the man, right? Do you think it's kind of the similar thing with Mayweather, that once Pacquiao retires, Pacquiao's already 35, then Mayweather can say, I'm the man?
No, see, Mayweather's already a man over Pacquiao right now.
But there's that question mark. I understand that, but there's always that question mark as long as Manny's still active.
Yeah, very true. And hold on, let me adjust this comment section right now, because y'all turning on me, and I don't like this. Okay, Reeves, I see how it is. Okay, Reeves, that's all I'm going to say. Just know my voice goes like this. Anyway, let me ask you about that real quick. So, Arachne is up there doing an interview with Sakharov. They're doing an interview, and then Sakharov was talking about the voice value that's going on. Oh, we losing the fight. But he's talking about the voice value that goes on. And he's like, Arachne goes, you know, I know exactly what it is that you're talking about. Because when I do commentaries, you know, I have my normal voice while I'm talking like this. And then when I'm trying to be loud and I'm trying to be excited, my voice goes like this. And I just start cracking up. Let me see if I can't get that sound clip for y'all in between rounds.
God.
Oh, my God. That was so funny.
Well, I mean, you know, it's that Jerry Seinfeld thing on that episode of Seinfeld where they're saying, you know, he's talking about when he gets pissed off and Elaine and George are laughing at him. And he says that, when I get upset, my voice goes from like this, and then I just go up to this, that high comedic pitch. I mean, it's the same thing. It's Fight Night's Finest with the volume turned up, so all of a sudden he goes from sounding how he usually sounds like Jay-Z to sounding like sounding like Jay-Z who's awake a little bit.
So you're saying Jay-Z is asleep half the time?
I'm just saying, when I look at Jay-Z, I'm like, either he's high or he's just spending too much time with Beyonce at night, and he's not getting his beauty sleep.
So what's your story this time with Beyonce? Because I know you got one lined up.
Well, I saw Beyonce. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was gonna go over and talk to her. I thought it was Beyonce, and I'm looking. I couldn't really see. I'm looking at her wig, and I see her from behind. And the truth is, I walked over there, but you know how she's proportioned, so I couldn't actually from behind get within about 20 feet of her.
Well, at least you didn't make up some type of story this time. Arachne's story sounds super cool. I'm done with y'all for real. Like that's how it is. But anyway, Like I said, if y'all haven't subscribed to my boy Arachne, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Once again, I know we plugged him like 20,000 times in this stream, but youtube.com/Arachne. So, because, there's a lot of people, you will plug them, you'll say, check this person out. Everybody keep watching the stream, like, yeah, I ain't checking that nigga out. So, I want y'all to go ahead and subscribe to him if y'all truly care about me. Now I gotta play one of those sad commercials that goes on for the Salvation Army and all those different type of commercials for Africa. If you truly love me, you will subscribe to Arachnid Soul's channel.
Well, I thought you were going to talk about those sad commercials. You know how it is. I know how you guys are. You can admit it. You stay up sometimes. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're switching between infomercials and watching reruns of Three's Company. And then Sarah McLachlan comes on, and it's that sad dog with the little fly in the corner of the eye. It's black and white, and she's singing, and she's telling you, for 3 cents a day, you can help support this, whatever kind of dog it is, the cockapoo, the Brazilian mutt hound, whatever it is. And it's kind of the same thing, but like I said before, go over. If you like my personality, if you like my videos, if you like my content, then you subscribe, because I don't really want a bunch of hollow children. And when I get to 1 million hits like Sakuraba, I want to be able to say, these people were there with me, they're friends, I like them, they're good people, and they actually enjoy my content.
Yeah, so once again, youtube.com/ArachnidSoul, and we will continue to try to give CeeLo these jabs, man. We're trying to make a comeback here. We're going with some good lead left-hand hooks. That one connected very nicely there. I think we're doing extremely well in this round. I've landed some good power shots and also landed some good counter shots. So we should be able to get back in this fight. There's the uppercut that we've been looking for. There it is.
We got.
Can we finish him? No. Yes, there it is. Knockdown. Somebody please teach that man some defense. It's just straight right hand that connects and put him down onto the canvas. Those are that point total that we need, man, to come back into this fight in the eyes of an angel, right?
Yeah,
right?
like that Sarah McLachlan song. What was that? What was that on the Afterglow CD? I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, everybody in the stream knows exactly what you're talking about too, man.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool being a Martian. I think Elton John described what it was like the best. It's cold as hell. There's no one to raise your kids if you did. And it's going to be a long, long time till touchdown brings me back around to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh, no. I'm a rocket man.
Oh, my God.
Rocket
You've been
Man.
watching way too much Family Guy, man.
Family Guy, that's Bill Shatner. What are you doing?
No. I ain't saying it's not Bill Shatner, but I'm saying I know exactly where you got it from. We know you don't listen to that type of music.
Oh, man. Let me tell you something. I've never seen an episode of Star Trek in my life, but Boston Legal was my show, and I became a fan of Bill Shatner 100 years after his heyday.
Hold on. Talk to the fans for a little. Not the fans. Talk to the people for a little bit. Just let me say this back.
All right. So anyway, fans, I want to know what you guys think. Is there, because no one ever really asks you guys in a live stream. You might see it on a video or something and you post it, but they don't read it. I want to know what you guys like and what you guys dislike about some of the posters you see on YouTube, some of the content they put out. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but one thing I will not do on my channel that I do see on a number of channels, what's the deal with these people who have that 1.5-minute long intro that they play before every video?
Okay, now some people's intro, well, no matter how long it is pretty good. Like if your not your outro, if your intro is really good, oh snap, he caught us.
Keep it under 25 seconds. That's all I'm saying.
Oh snap, we're up against these ropes. We're hurt. Good counter left hook. Good
Clinch.
counter straight.
Clinch.
Nah, we ain't clinching right now, man. This is the last round. We gotta go for it.
Oh, wait, I'm not even paying attention. What, you down on points?
Nah, I think we're up.
Okay, then clinch. Hit that.
Oh, yeah,
hit
you're
that.
right. You're right. Let's pussy it out. Let's be like Oscar De La Hoya.
No, man,
Felix Trinidad.
listen, man. You clinch him and then you hit that Kurt Angle style belly to belly suplex.
So what do you? Okay, you must be thinking about throwdown. Thursday night throwdown. Let's talk about Thursday night throwdown, man. Cause I'm not happy about El Samurai putting my boy Liger in a concussion. I feel like he purposely did that to piss me off.
When you talk about Thursday Night Throwdown, El Samurai, you're always giving him plugs. He's like Kim Kardashian. People hate her, but she's the first name out of their mouth. Let's talk about the IWGP World Champion. Let's talk about Kenta Kobashi. Let's talk about a man who, it's not that he's not a fighting champion, but due to scheduling on the part of upper management, hasn't defended that world championship since the Wrestle Kingdom pay-per-view January 4th on my YouTube channel. He's back. It's 1 week from this Thursday. It's April 24th. He will be in action. He will be defending that IWGP Championship, as well as the Catchweight Championship tournament continues. We're going to announce which two wrestlers are going to compete that night. We're also going to announce who the #1 contender is over the next week to take on Kenta Kobashi. And as far as the situation goes with Jushin Thunder Liger, yes, we saw him get attacked by El Samurai after he defeated Koji Kanemoto and successfully defended his IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Jushin Thunder Liger is out with a mild concussion. We will have updates for you possibly as soon as April 24th. The Throwdown Library available on my channel. Go back, watch the old events, get caught up. It's the best wrestling, it's the best wrestlers, and it's the most effort that I think anyone puts into YouTube videos on a weekly basis. Whether you're a wrestling fan or not, you have to appreciate everything that I'm bringing to the table and everything that these wrestlers bring to the table on a weekly basis. YouTube.com/ArachnidSoul, Thursday Night Throwdown.
Did I just get... Okay, well, let's see if all my effort actually paid off here. Okay, we was able to win. Apparently I was the one at the bottom. I thought I was the one at the top. But we was able to come around, and I thought I was losing the fight this entire time.
Well, I can tell you, Red Eye Jedi was the one who made Sakuraba's intro, and I do know for a fact, and I'm not joking or telling a story here, I don't know why I know this, but go check it out after this and you'll see I'm right. Sakuraba's intro is exactly 18 seconds long.
Yeah, my intro is actually longer than Sakuraba's, which is actually quite funny. Yeah, some people's intros are too long, says Reeves in the comment section, and I think, but I don't have a problem with a long intro. Like, I think for a fact, like, there's nothing wrong with a long intro, as long as your intro is gonna get people hyped to watch the videos. Like, I don't mean to brag, but I think sometimes my intro is better than my commentary sometimes, cause like I admit sometimes in them live fight Fridays I get caught up, and then yeah. It doesn't be as great as it could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit like, and we'll do this for both genders, so no one thinks that I'm being biased, but it's a bit like that girl, you take her home, and she's plump in all the right places, right? And then she takes the bra off, and the chicken cutlets fall out, and for the girls, it's the guy you take home, and you think that he's packing something, and the only thing he's packing in there is 2 socks. You know, don't have that awesome intro. Don't have that awesome intro. And then come on, hi guys, what's going on? Today we're playing some Call of Duty Ghosts. It's like, oh.
And let's see if King Cash does not answer the invite, we'll fight CeeLo again. Want to say good fight to CeeLo, and yes, don't put out don't be coming into no YouTube videos and you sounding like a damn 10 to 12-year-old. I can't stand that. Like, there's some good commentators out there, don't get me wrong, but the voice, man, I just can't do it with the voice.
You know what? And you make videos just like I make videos, and you use Audacity and Skype and all of these things. And sometimes you don't know how to do something, so you look for that tutorial on YouTube. And I'm finding increasingly these little kids who shouldn't have money, who come on the camera, they've got 9 flat screens, they've got every console, they've got a couple of Playboy bunnies in the background, and now they're schooling me, and it's like they're right, so I need to listen to the tutorial and the information they're giving me. At the same time, I'm like, this guy is like 8 years old.
Yeah, sometimes the tutorials are messed up too. Fight Night's Finest intro be 3 minutes. Kill him. You know that intro is beast, man. The truth, but when your intro it's sure.
That's another thing we need to talk about, because we haven't talked about, you know what, some guys, they feel the need to compensate. You know, that podcast we did with Sakuraba, you know what I'm talking about. These guys coming in, they're thirsty, they're hungry. You know what I'm talking about. It's these guys. That's another term we need to throw in there. He's a 2-socker. He's not packing anything, but he's got a hell of a bluff.
Right? Yeah, it's all about the content, man. What would y'all do if I changed my intro to this? What's going on out there, universe? It's your boy, Fight Night's Finest, the Soviet commentator of YouTube.
Oh man.
Man, I couldn't even take myself serious or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's another thing. You got to be able to take yourself serious in your own intro because you can't laugh after that. It's time to go to work.
Right? How you gonna laugh at yourself? But what would you do if I changed my intro to that, or acted?
You might want to. We might do something. We might come up with some ideas where, on like one occasion, we change our intros to something really whack and just lame.
Right? Just call a match like that and just sound like one of these commentators that don't know what they're talking about. Let me ask the people in the comment section. Y'all watch boxing, y'all know boxing obviously. What would you do? What would you do? What do you think about the guys who do commentary? Do you feel like they intrigue you in the boxing matches when there's not a lot of action going on? Do y'all learn stuff about boxing when you're watching them? Besides the fighters like Paulie Malignaggi and Roy Jones Jr. From the other guys, do you learn anything while watching them?
I mean, I have to say, just for myself, this is what everyone needs to understand about the people in the news who do the broadcasting. The job of the news media is to maintain the status quo, whatever that is. There's a lot of competition when it comes to people who broadcast news, and because of that, they never say anything controversial, and they all try to sound like each other. And by the way, that's also why, and I know this for a fact because I know some women who are news broadcasters, why none of the women sound like women. They all sound like men, and they all come on, hello, welcome to the news. It's time. It's like, no, Rachel Maddow's a lesbian and she doesn't sound as butch as most of you women. All right. So the same thing happens in box. And I love Rachel Maddow, by the way. Nobody send me any. Yeah, I'm from New York. Of course I love her. But anyway, it's the same thing when you do boxing. There's only so many spots and there's so many guys who want those spots. So they all try to sound like that one guy and they can't be controversial, and the combination of that and the fact that a lot of them, especially on HBO, as we've talked about, they don't try to educate the fans at all. Certainly not as much as you might see on like an ESPN Friday Night Fights. And it's pretty much an epidemic. I mean, if you're growing up now and you want to be a professional boxing announcer, you're going to try to emulate the horrible announcers that you see now as you grow up.
Yeah, I mean, like, the only person I really I talked about Paulie Malignaggi and Roy Jones Jr. I respect those two. The guys on SNY New York Boxing, they do a pretty good job too. But Teddy Atlas, man, he's my favorite sports commentator. In football, I gotta admit, like, a lot of these guys are really boring. Especially if there's not a lot of stuff going on. They can't really intrigue you with anything. I like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on Fox 5. But like when people say Phil Simms, and I'm like, no, he's not a good commentator. And the guys on NBC, man, I think it's Chris something. That nigga is annoying. Like he acts like he knows what he's talking about. He's just reading what somebody else told him off the card, and his voice is annoying too. He has like that country accent, which I don't have no problem with country people, but he has that annoying country accent, and it's just disgusting.
See, I thought we could get through a whole live stream without you dropping the N-bomb, but I forgot you're from Brooklyn, so
it happens. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but and to me, the announcers that I grew up looking up to, they were all pro wrestling announcers. I'm sorry. People when I'm doing announcing, they try to figure out, hey, he kind of sounds like someone. Yeah, I'm a hybrid of all of those, the best pro wrestling announce team ever, which was the Monday Nitro team. Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, the living legend Larry Zbyszko, and my number one idol, a man still working and still kicking ass at that broadcast booth in TNA, the best televised wrestling in the United States, talking about the Professor, Iron Mike Tenay.
Iron Mike Tenay. So he was a Tyson fan apparently.
Well, the thing is, he's a huge boxing fan. And in fact, not only was there Iron Mike Tenay, there was another Iron Mike, I believe, in football or something. But Mike Tenay runs a local sports book out here in Vegas, and he's a huge boxing fan. And that was actually a nickname that was given to him, I believe, by the three-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, if you will.
As Pussy Stroker says, man, what can you learn from Skip Bayless? Like, absolutely nothing, man. Like, especially, there's a guy who does the interviews for HBO. I forget his name. I'm pretty sure all y'all know who I'm talking about who does boxing. He's a wise guy, and I can't stand him. Like, he's one of the most annoying interviewers I've seen in HBO, and I've seen in television, period. I can't stand that dude, though. I forget his name, man.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know who you're talking about, and I think with almost like when you play Legacy Mode in Fight Night Champion and you go through and you see every boxing cliche, there are certain announcers in boxing who they know nothing about boxing, they add nothing to the commentary table, but they have that old school kind of cliche, like, you know, it sounds like Rocky's corner man, and people are tuning in to watch boxing, and he sounds like a grizzled guy who was probably affiliated with the Italian mob at one point, so we're just going to give him a job.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I mean, if you're going to hire people based off voice, just hire me. I'll change the whole sport.
Right. I've never heard of the Flatbush Zombies, I Am Legend, even though I used to live in Flatbush. I did live in East Flatbush at one time, but I have no idea who they were. And yes, Jerry the King Lawler, you do have a couple of good things over there in that company. Jerry Lawler's one of them. I haven't watched that company in 10 years because they're very busy not giving the wrestlers health benefits, retirement. They work them way too hard, no vacation time. And then too many of them drop dead and they sweep them under the carpet. But yeah, I mean, Jerry Lawler, not only one of the funniest guys you'll ever hear doing broadcasting, he's also an awesome artist and probably a 40 or 50 time, world champion down there in Memphis. Jerry Lawler's actually the guy in Mid-South Coliseum who broke Elvis Presley's record for the most consecutive sellouts of that building.
Wow, who wouldn't know? Fun facts from Arachnid Soul.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Max Kellerman, who does Face-to-Face on HBO. Yeah.
Oh, disgusting. Like that. He's just annoying.
I mean...
No, not Larry Merchant. Max Kellerman. God, Larry Merchant, too. I mean, he's not that good. He really isn't that good.
Is there anyone who personifies the word instigator more than Max Kellerman?
Yeah, I don't think there is anybody who personifies that word any more than Max Kellerman. And just the fact that he's so cocky. Like, you are an interviewer. You really think, like, if I was a fighter and he said something slick to me about losing the match, I would punch him in his face. I would, well, since you got everything to say.
You know, the thing is, he sits there in that dark room like he's in Superman's Fortress of Solitude with the lights off, and the two guys come in and they face each other, you know, sitting in that 90s style, like they're, you know, on an episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then he starts poking them and prodding them and asking all this stuff that you know he wouldn't say. I saw him do it with Pacquiao and Bradley. And you know there's 100 security people standing right off camera, and that's the only reason he opens his mouth.
Yeah, because he's so rude. I guarantee somebody will catch Max Kellerman slipping outside. It'll be done for him.
Yeah.
He probably has people walk him home and drive him home as well, because, like, dude's just so cocky, and I can't stand it. I really can't.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody ever says anything about it neither, which is the part that really pisses me off.
Well, because at the end of the day, when you go and you do face-to-face with Max Kellerman, you know the pay-per-view buys on HBO are going to be higher. You're going to make more money. So if you're going to make an extra couple of million or a couple of 100,000 for putting up with this guy for 6 minutes, I don't know. I think you kind of do it.
Yeah, Chris Benoit was one of those guys that they swept under the rug, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's talk about Chris Benoit. This is going to be a whole podcast now. Chris Benoit, Wild Pegasus, the Pegasus Kid, a guy who made his name in Japan after being trained by Stu Hart up in Calgary, one of the great technical wrestlers of all time, went to WCW, went back to Japan, went to ECW, WCW, and then ended up in that organization in New York, Evil Empire Wrestling, I like to call it, EEW. Anyway, this is a guy who, and they try to convince people it's because he did that diving headbutt. No, it's because when you're a wrestler and you're getting hit in the head and you're falling down, you get concussions. The way you get a concussion is your head stops moving and your brain continues to move and slams back and forth, inside your skull. Now, that's what happened. It happens in NHL players, NFL players, it happens to boxers. And what you see is there's actually a syndrome, I can't remember the name of it, but over time you start to get these huge synapses in your brain. You get holes in your brain. You can't think straight. We see it as people come back from wars in Iraq when they've had concussions due to bombs that went off close to them. You increase your chances of committing suicide. You increase your chances of having mental health issues. And I know mental health is still a big taboo in this country, but mental health is health. It's part of your body. So when you talk about Chris Benoit, I hear a lot of people acting as if here's a perfectly sane man who decided to kill, his wife, Nancy Sullivan, Nancy Benoit, whatever you want to say, and his son, Daniel. And I'm not saying that he didn't do it. I'm not one of these conspiracy theorists who think Kevin Sullivan did it or something. But I'm saying you got to look at their brains. And I like the fact that now, you have Chris Nowinski, a former Harvard graduate, and a man who now runs a brain institute. Now he's getting some of the brains of, NFL players and wrestlers and hockey players when they die. And hopefully we can proceed accordingly, and we can start to take into account the fact that concussions are not something you go over to a corner, sit down for 2 minutes, and recover from. They take decades, maybe 50 years. And when you get concussion on top of concussion, there are serious ramifications. And I guess that's the serious part of tonight's broadcast.
Yeah, that was extremely serious. Pussy Stroker, you got it right, man. I remember Rio's almost doing that. Like Max Kellerman always got something smart to say in it. The thing that the way I could see him really getting punched in his face is if he was there in the press conference after Adrian Broner and Paulie Malignaggi, and while he's talking to Paulie, talking about what Broner did to him, and saying something sarcastic about it. And I think Paulie would have punched him in his face. Like, I would really like to see Max Kellerman get rocked. I will pay $100 million to see that. I really would.
I think the other thing is not only does he have security there, but he knows if any. I mean, can you imagine if Manny Pacquiao, who would never lose his temper, but if Manny Pacquiao would have decked him on camera with that HD footage, we would have never seen Max Kellerman again. He would have gone and bought one of those Filipino islands.
Yeah. We would have imagined if George Foreman hit him.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
or Tyson hit him. Somebody to put him out of his commission for good.
God, if George Foreman hit him, George Foreman would kill him if he hit him.
Yeah.
I mean, George Foreman would kill most people if he punched them dead on with a power straight. Or Butterbean caught him with one of those left hooks.
Oh, yeah. All 400 pounds, and plus the shift in the weight.
But yeah.
Off that left hook real nice, too, man.
I mean, so yeah, that's Max Kellerman. We know what he's about. I saw some interview where he was interviewing Chris Everett or somebody, and he kept calling the guy by the wrong name because there's two people with the last name Everett in two different sports. One's a man, one's a woman. He kept calling this guy by like the woman's name, and the guy was getting pissed off, and the guy at one point, I think, stood up and almost hit him. You guys can probably find that later on YouTube.
I bet he was shook.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's got that half grin on his face because he knows there's security all around him. I mean, let him... Let me tell you, let Max Kellerman be a guy who goes into a room and does these interviews and just writes the stuff down on paper, no cameras, nobody else in there with him, and let's see how much his interviewing style changes.
Right? That's so, he's a terrible human being.
I mean, it was nice when he did the Pacquiao-Bradley face-to-face. At least he was asking Bradley some questions that we would like to ask, The first thing out of his mouth was he asked Bradley, hey, after you fought Pacquiao last time, most people thought you lost. You said that you thought you won, but you checked the footage to make sure. We understand you've seen the footage now. What do you think? And Bradley, of course, said, yes, now that I've seen the footage, I think I won. But I thought that was actually a good interview question, if he could just be that guy all the time.
Yeah, like, anybody could ask a good question. It doesn't take much to be a good interviewer. I mean, like, just the way he does things is disgusting. And I'm pretty sure everybody at home watching the Max Kellerman interview would be like, man, could somebody slap this? Like, oh yeah, we're trying to go the rest of the stream without using that word. Because somebody slapped this bitch? Like, oh God. The most annoying people I've ever met. I'm pretty sure I'm annoying this guy right here in the ring with this jab. He's fighting a pretty good fight, but the Philly shell is just OP.
So
I
you
wanted to
think
try to see if I could get a win with Chambers.
you think because of the work you're putting on him that he's suffering some penis shrinkage?
No, I doubt that. He's a subscriber, but
Oh, okay.
he's definitely coming forward and he's trying to fight how Joe would normally fight. Now, I haven't seen any penises cases. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that means you didn't check that podcast out between myself, Arachnid Soul, and Sakuraba 1982 on his channel. Go over there and check that out. It wasn't too long ago. You can find it in Sakuraba's recent videos. Awesome podcast. We have me and Sakuraba did one. Then we have me, Arachnid Soul, and Sakuraba. And then now we should be having one of those shuck once more.
Right. I mean, I I did another one with Sakuraba that I'm going to post on my channel on Saturday. So if you like my content, subscribe, and then when you wake up Saturday, you'll get to watch that. Because I know Sakuraba's British. He's 8 hours ahead of me. So I'm going to try to post it early Saturday morning. So anyone in the United States, when you wake up, and you know how it is Saturday, you wake up, you put on the TV because you're delusional. You haven't learned from the past 3 million Saturdays. You think there's going to be something good on, and you're flipping around. You see there's Digimon reruns. You don't want to watch that. Then you flip around. You see there's tennis on. You don't want to watch that. Then you see there's that church lady who has all the Botox and the work done. You know who I'm talking about, the one with the short hair, whatever her name is. You don't want to watch that. That's when you go to watch my my podcast I did with Sakuraba. There's an awesome game we're playing in the background, and I think you'll enjoy that.
Yeah, I will definitely be looking forward to watching that. So, youtube.com/Arachnid. So, y'all should know it by now, but for as long as you guys have been sitting here. So, right now, I'm really just trying to finish this matchup. We was able to knock him down. I think it was once earlier. And I'm not sure how many rounds is left in this fight. But, I really just want to get done. So we're going to try to go balls deep right here. See if we can't catch the knockout. Playing aggressive early on in the earlier rounds have helped significantly. We're on round number 8. Let's take a look at these scorecards right now. I should be winning every single round. Oh, surprisingly not. 4 rounds to... Oh, no. I looked at that wrong. I was rubbing my eye. Okay, we got 5. Not 5. Yeah. What was it? Yeah, it was 5 rounds to 2. In favor of me. We're doing a pretty good job here, so we're coming on the inside now. We're gonna try to end this.
Right,
75% stamina. No reason to let this try to carry on much longer.
I mean, and I'm getting a little text message here from my boy Bob Barker I like to play golf with, and he wants me to remind you guys to help control the pet population, have your pet spayed or neutered.
What the heck? Where did that come from?
Oh, well, you know, we like to... I thought you had little plugs, you know, right? Little plugs you got to get in during the show.
But pets? Like, that was completely... Where did that come from?
Okay, I don't know.
That's straight from left field in one of your famous baseball matches. You love that sport, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, anytime I've been awake a long time and I need a good nap, nothing's better than putting on one of those American pastime baseball games, sitting there for 9 hours watching 2 innings.
What do you guys think about baseball in the comments section though? For real, like, for me, I can't watch it, man. I just fall asleep.
It is funny though, like when you're in New York, how split it is because people either love baseball or they hate it in the same city.
I think he liked that right uppercut that we connect with. Get your chin check. We end up putting him down onto the canvas for the second time tonight. But that would have livened things up. You almost fall asleep once you start talking about baseball.
Yeah, so, I mean, I hear you over there taking sips of water, trying to come out choking and stuff all the match.
Like, hey, you just want to get out of here because nobody likes baseball, man. Well, I don't understand how anybody can watch that, especially when it's the transition when they're switching people off the bench. You're like, God, is he gonna come out anytime soon? And you know, he's up there dusting off his feet. He's talking. He gotta go over there, talk to everybody that's in the cage. As we connect to yet another right uppercut, get your chin checked.
Well, I mean, just imagine if boxing was like baseball in the sense that the fat 90-year-old guy who's in your corner, for some reason, he's got to wear matching trunks and be out there at ringside without a shirt on.
Oh my God.
Why are the baseball coaches wearing the outfits? You're 90 years old. You're not going to play.
Yeah, I guess they want them to feel a part of the team. But yeah,
Oh,
we was able to bend to one game. It's all right. I mean, the whole time you're waiting for somebody to hit the ball, and that doesn't happen that often. And
well,
especially like people love the no hitters, man. I'm waiting for Kellen to respond to this one, but the no hitters, man. How do you sit through it?
I think it would be maybe it's the way like how sometimes boxers have good defense. Imagine a boxing match so good that they went 12 rounds and no one connected with anything.
Well, I'd be excited in a sense because he's
Yeah.
because everything is like a miss. It's like the anxiousness. But how you gonna say is he gonna hit the ball this time? Like, come
Well,
on.
because I think you would turn the focus from the guy who's, supposed to hit the ball to the guy pitching the ball. You'd be like, man, this is like a 1 in a million type thing this guy's doing.
Well, only takes him 15 minutes to get the ball back to go ahead and throw it again.
Well, I mean, this is true in all sports. I think that the umpires and the referees in all sports, they want to get on camera. So that's why when you watch that Lakers game, you see the referee, dribbling the ball. He just took a free throw. The ball's fine. You touched it 15 seconds ago, but the guy wants to get on camera, or the baseball guy's got to make sure there's no Vaseline, or it's not too humid. They want their airtime.
Yeah. It's all right, guys. I'll catch y'all later to catch you next time. All right, Pussy Stroker, glad that you joined. We're actually going to cut the stream off here. Let's get in these last few comments. Baseball and golf is the most boring sports in the world. I have to agree with you, especially with those golf announcers.
Let me tell you, I'd watch golf over baseball.
Well, at least I won't be able to sleep on golf because all he's going to do is whisper the entire time. So, I can get in there with that nice soothing voice, and then next thing you know, I'm out on the couch.
Well, I mean, but you do have that guy behind Tiger Woods yelling out, Baba Booey! Howard Stern's penis, Gary Delabate, Baba Booey.
Right. Yeah, I don't like, he said makes me sleep at times, yeah. So, thank you everybody for coming out to the stream, man. Thank you, Legend, Reese. We know it's late over there in the UK. I want to thank you for coming out. Reeves, Red Eye Jedi. God, there was so many of you guys in the stream. Afro. Let me look back to make sure I didn't miss anybody.
Yeah,
Gary.
Killa. Yeah, Gary Killa.
Killer. I don't know how I just missed Killing. He's like right there. Hakeem.
Right there.
Anybody else? I think we pretty much got everybody. But yeah, I really want to thank you guys for coming out and watching the stream tonight. Anybody else who's watching this back and you guys say, this is a great live stream, I'd like to be a part of it. I'd like to ask some questions. Go ahead and join us on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you don't see it, it's usually because I'm a little late. And also Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. So, once again, from me to you, from Arachnid to around the world to everything else, it's your boy, Fight Night's Finest, the Sophie commentator. And I'm off this. Peace.
Peace.